Well, hello. This is the continuation of the DUM-DUM meeting that has been going for who knows how long. An hour and 30 minutes, and I was able to say about 4 sentences because this ridiculous phone setup, trying to do StreamYard on phone, doesn't work. So there were 10 people there, including me, but I couldn't talk to anybody or hear anything. So I put in, I put their, start a new stream. Maybe they'll find me, maybe they won't. So far, we have one person watching. Oh, I guess I should invite people. I think that from now on, I won't be using the phone, even though you can move around. It's better to just do it in a single place. And I think it's for the birds, because then, yeah, all right. Well, you know how it goes. Paste. We got one person watching. That one person is probably a great human being, a great member of the Gratu army. So, yeah, we got the link here. We got 4 people watching. Apparently, we're back in business. I don't know. Can you hear me? Possibly you can. Possibly you can't. Okay, so much for this ridiculous iPhone. All right. So, what is Friar Tuck says, whatever works best for you. I don't. Can you hear me? Holy, kicked off Batman missing Mars. I was kicked off on my own show by the StreamYard evil minions. So I don't know, man. I just trying to do a show here. Meyer Greenblatt, can you hear me, Meyer Greenblatt?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, that's not fine. I didn't hear hardly anything that happened in the last hour and a half. I heard. I heard at one point. I heard people talking about metal lunchboxes. Heard people talking about a flock of seagulls. I heard a few other things. It was like talking about football players.
Did you get my text message?
Your text message.
I sent you a text message. Yeah, to restart.
It's not just that I restarted. I restarted on this, and apparently this must recognize my because I did it on the Firefox. It must recognize my paid account because it said I could have 10 people in. So I guess I'm on the paid account. Sound is fine, a little echoey. It says that's probably just because I'm in a room with 10 feet ceilings here.
Hey, Friar Tuck.
Missing Mars. Yeah, it's a little bit more comfortable. I have more elbow room here. I don't know if those people will come back. Hopefully they'll see. All they have to do is go to my channel and see I have a new live stream. I don't know.
They're on the way. They're on the way right now. They'll be here in a minute.
All right, that's cool. So I got a little angry there for a minute. I think it might have been me for getting on the show. I was really angry. My Wi-Fi's going. Let's see. Hey, Meyer, says Friar Tuck. Let me check my Wi-Fi. Yeah, I'm on the right Wi-Fi. That's better. I got another bar or whatever you call it. Yes, indeed. How about it? Paulo is back. All right, we're starting to rebuild. We're building back better. Okay, now I can actually hear and everything. It's so great. God is, you're an atheist, but this might cause you to become religious, because if I had sound, it wouldn't have been good. But I was restrained. Jesus was holding me back, man.
The thing, if you're just recording and you walk around the house, then you upload a video, it works fine. But if you move around too much on the phone, you're gonna go out of the Wi-Fi areas. So,
well, I moved down. The last 20 minutes, I've been like this close to the actual router. But anyway, it just doesn't work on the phone very well.
Yep.
Friar Tuck says, got storms kicking in your area again, Gratu, or at least nearby. No, not that I know of. Man. So we're getting a whole new roof, new siding, new front lights in front, new couple of new windows. They're coming out to look at my car tomorrow from last Friday. Yeah. So my wife wants to put up black siding, with a copper roof. She thinks that'll look good. I don't know. They'll probably just all think we're devil worshippers, and I don't know. I'm gonna let her choose everything. Okay, we're starting to rebuild the audience. We've got 13 people. I think we were at 21 people tops. I don't know. So good to hear what the insurance brought to. Yeah, well, we'll see. I don't want to like jinx myself. Man. So got Friar talking missing Mars. Oh, Spinnerack, come back in. You guys could talk into the stream. I had to go down and start dinner. Oh, okay. So that's ready when my wife gets up. That's cool. I'll watch later and see. You showed some cool stuff. I'm sorry I couldn't give people bigger screens when they were showing things because I couldn't even figure out what's going on with me. What's wrong with the roof? Hail damage? Yes. Baseball-sized hail last Friday night. Serious and tornadoes, although they were in town, and some people got it worse. Some people lost their houses, so I shouldn't complain. So I don't know.
I think the rest of the rest of the guys are still talking to Kevin on the closed stream. They're still on the other StreamYard.
Oh, they are. Well, let's see.
Moondust. The last show I saw at the Cow Palace was the Smashing Pumpkins, that Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness tour. So I don't know, what was that? 2000 and I don't know, maybe 1990 something. 1998? I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen a show at the Cow Palace, but that was the last show, was the Pumpkins. They were great. Great. I've seen more shows. I've seen more stuff at Arco Arena in Sacramento than here.
How old are the Smashing Pumpkins now? They're still doing they're still doing shows.
I think so. They still record. Yeah, I think so. I haven't, like I said, I haven't seen them
on a
in
different
20,
stream, guys. I'm already
25
starting
years. All right.
Okay.
I mean, that was like
All right,
25
see you
years
guys.
ago, probably.
Because they were on a festival this last month. I saw them playing.
They have a great
playing
catalog
somewhere.
of music, so they could play 2 hours anytime. They have so many great. They've got a lot of good songs.
Yeah,
a lot of good albums. Yeah.
Yeah, I get bored listening to them on the radio, but a live show with them actually sounds very good.
Yeah, Billy Corgan puts on a really good show.
Okay,
right, I'm back.
There were some people that said I saw there was still Gotham City was still there. Quite Dr. Fibes and someone else. They said they're coming over, so that's fine. There's Gotham City. All right.
There we go.
The typical view of a comic book that I just want to flip through them, but it's so tantalizing and very good.
Hey, look, I vacuumed.
I have no idea what you were saying, but that Mike Allred book, is that for sale?
That's why I was showing it to you. I knew you'd want it. I found it today.
You're showing it to me. Oh, okay. Yes, put it in. I heard nothing.
I vacuumed my comics.
What else were you showing? You showed like a Mystic Comics or something?
Yeah, Jambo got that one.
Oh, okay. Okay, so can you get more of the Mystic Comics?
I'm pretty sure that's out of print. I found it on the rack. I didn't know I had it.
Oh, okay. Oh.
This is cool too. I found this.
Participate in my own show, but yeah, I'd like that.
Yeah, that's a great book. I have this book he's showing right here. Got to. I have it. My son gave it to me a couple of years ago. Great book.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. I'd like to learn more about them, honestly, because I never really read much of Madman or anything. I just know that I love these artists. They're right up my alley, and so.
Yeah, I only have 1 or 2 Madman books, but the first time I saw Madman was on the Nexus Madman crossover. which was kind of a fun read because Nexus could get depressing sometimes, especially as the title went on for years and years. But it was a fun one shot, and nobody got hurt. There wasn't even a fight. Steve Root actually drew that comic, but Allred had to draw Madman just so he
So
still
was
looked like
anything
Madman.
said about was anything said about me while I wasn't there? What was the discussion about?
Well, everybody was putting in their 2 cents. That's why you heard about Flock of Seagulls. But yeah,
Wow. Mike Allred's parents, both of them almost lived to be 100. His parents.
Wow.
What do you mean everyone was putting in their own 2 cents?
No, everybody, because we were all talking, and everybody, even though we were there were 10 people in there, didn't feel like anybody was interrupting anybody. So it was it was a very fluid conversation.
Yeah, all right.
Hey, Gratu, I think when you get like more than 9 people, it starts your phone starts going crazy, huh?
It could be. I don't know what because that happened when there were just a few people on Sunday. I couldn't get back into the show. I think it's because
Like
it's
it
I'm
starts
doing it on
going
a
like
phone.
this. Your phone
I
starts
don't know why it
switching
says
angles.
that. I don't know what's going on. I just need to realize that StreamYard is something that I need to have in a stationary position. Obviously, I've learned that about it.
Oh, are you on a computer right now?
Yeah, I switched to a computer.
Yeah, just
That's the
accessing
only
all
way I
the
can do it, yeah.
controls.
I was showing you this book too. I found the autobiography.
Oh, cool. That looks cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's neat. Is that new?
It's been sitting on my shelf for 12 years.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really? I would be interested in that if someone else hasn't claimed it.
Yeah, I marked it down over 7 years ago.
Well,
The
I marked it down
administration.
half.
well, I guess no one else is coming back in
The
the
early
stream.
days.
So
Yeah, I marked
Times
it
were
down
good.
7 years ago and nobody bought it.
I was so
You're frozen. You froze up, if you can hear me.
this shit. Son of a bitch.
Is everybody froze or just you?
I think it's
it's
just him.
yeah.
It's not your night.
Like speaking, and everyone else is up. No, I don't know what's.
Here's a model kit I'm getting in tomorrow. It's Granny's hot rod.
Oh, that looks cool. Can you tell what that is, Paulo?
The front
looking.
the front end actually looks like it comes from a Bugatti.
Okay.
Hey, Paulo,
The
my customer that races those Indy cars, he got 3rd place last weekend or the weekend before.
Cool. Yeah, last weekend was where?
He said it was in LA. It was in LA in the streets of LA, like they closed off downtown.
Oh yeah, no, Long Beach. Yeah, the
Yeah,
Long Beach Grand Prix.
He said he got 3rd place on that one.
And the SVRA sanctioned the event. It was part of the Indy the IndyCar series. And
He's a big Star Wars fan. He bought the Vader the other day.
Cool.
I saw Gratu got that. You sent him that Psycho Man.
Yeah.
Nobody knows who Psycho Man is. Nobody even knows who he is.
It's a great figure. I think it's a good figure.
Yeah, it's cool. Even if you don't know who he is, it's a cool, like an astronaut costume. Meyer, you got your stuff today? Was it today or yesterday you got it?
Yesterday.
The days are all blending together for me right now.
Yeah, you have all that stuff to show, and I was wanting you to show it. I couldn't.
I can show it now if you want me to.
Oh, someone else is trying to get in. Oh, two people. Yeah, that'd be great.
There's Jambo.
The legend.
Gratu.
I'm sorry, I have no idea what people were talking about.
Hey.
Oh, Three Stooges. I love it.
Certainly.
So I got a package yesterday from Kevin at Gotham City Comics. Who's that? There it is.
I don't know what's happening to the sound. It's like an obscene phone caller. Okay.
A nice card. Yeah. That's Kevin, man. That's the guy with us right now. Yeah, he's in Arizona.
So we'll look at some inserts first. He sent me some stickers. Here's a sticker from the shop that they have there at Gotham City Comics.
That's a cool sticker.
He sent me some John Goris originals. I got this Halloween Now YouTube sticker.
Yeah, nice.
I haven't watched Halloween Now yet, but it's available, I suppose, on the John Goris channel on YouTube. Maybe we'll watch it one day on Ratu's show.
Yeah.
Here's another great John
Goris
Goris
channel.
one of a kind original sticker. It says "I woke the dead." Isn't that awesome? Beautiful.
That's so cool.
Here's another John Goris, and isn't that beautiful? It says Gotham City Comics. I love that that Batman has got a little 5 o'clock shadow there. And then here's the Pizza Resistance. I love this one right here.
Very nice. Gotham City Comics.
All original, one of a kind. Beautiful. Subscribe to John Goris on YouTube. And he sent me a couple copies of this flyer for Smoking Joe for these new Garbage Pail Kids Wacky Pack stickers. And now let's take a look at the books. I got this Unknown World. I took everything out of the bags so we could maybe view it a little bit easier or better. But you know, when you do receive stuff from Gotham City Comics, everything comes beautifully bagged and boarded in brand new bags and boards. I got this Unknown Worlds. It's number 47. It's cool. All these books are in really nice condition. These all came from this collection of a former school teacher and the daughter of a former school teacher who was also a teacher or something like that. Maybe classroom or library comics, maybe. Right, Gratu? Is that about right? Can you hear me? Can anybody confirm my story?
Well, those.
I think that's what he said. Yes.
Oh, Jack Higgins. The kid's name was Jack Higgins that owned.
That's right. It was pedigreed to Jack Higgins. That's correct. I remember that.
He's a Mesa. He was a Mesa resident.
Hmm.
So I got that Uncanny Tales from the Grave #3. Here's a Journey into Mystery. I think it's #9. These are in really good shape from these early 70s Marvel reprint horror books. In good condition for as old as they are. It's #9. It's a 20 center.
Oh,
Good
it
way to
says
cut
the
your
screen's
teeth on
limited.
horror.
Shit.
Here's Tim Boom Ba. It's another Journey into Mystery, #10.
You got somebody waiting to get in, Gratu?
Yeah, I do. I apparently I thought I could get 10 people in, but I'm not on. I've got to get my
Okay.
wife to figure out how to
I
get
got-
my free.
I
That's
got to
fine.
go.
I'm gonna tap out. I'll watch the rest of it on my TV.
I got to tap out too with Jambo, but we're
I
not
got an
tapping
early
each
day
other. We're
tomorrow.
just. But I'll be watching from the chat.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't want
Sir
to miss the
Gratu,
DUM-DUM show, though.
Sir Gratu, don't worry, man. I'll be back one of these days. We're gonna be chatting, dude. Take
See you
care,
guys.
sir. Bye.
Yep.
Bye.
Are you on your old account where you can only have 6?
Apparently, I thought it said I could have 10.
This one probably
I don't
works
know
better
how to-
though.
Well, it's just I'm on a computer instead of the phone.
But you can change the if you registered it on a different email
think I
with the
need
other
to
account,
start
you
my
should be able
phone.
to change.
I'd have to have my wife figure
Yeah,
out
yeah.
how
There we
I'm
go.
registered on this and get it registered on the. She'd be able to figure it out. She can hack into. I don't know how I registered, honestly. I think I opened a G. I think I went in through a Gmail or something. To, yeah, it's just weird to have your show. You can't control your own show. I don't know.
Did you guys hear that thunder?
Is that where you're at?
I didn't hear it. Oh, what's
Yeah.
this?
You might see some of the lightning in the window behind me. We got a storm coming through.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so do you guys want to learn about small European cars that fit in the back of an American pickup truck?
What?
Let me set up the slideshow.
Are these the bubble cars?
The bubble cars, yeah.
Bubble like with the windshield is a bubble like the Homer-mobile?
A few of them. Most of them are just small.
Are they from the 1950s?
Yeah, 50s and 60s. Then they got out of fashion because they were not as cheap as slightly bigger cars, which were used as a. Okay, so I got the slideshow ready to go. You need to select it like it's a new person coming in. And there we go. All right, so this is the what usually is considered the first bubble car, although it doesn't look like a bubble. This is the Bond mini car, and it was produced in multiple iterations between 1949 and 1966. Only had 3 wheels. In case you couldn't start the car from this, you couldn't start the car at the steering wheel. You actually had a kick pedal inside the engine, and you could go and reach with the foot, and you'd start the car, because this thing had a motorcycle engine, a VLEA 200cc engine. This only had 5 horsepower, but it only weighed 400 pounds. So it was actually quite fun to drive, even if it was a bit dangerous turning, because It was the front wheel that turned.
One wheel in the front, huh?
Yeah. This is the Messerschmitt, like the airplane. the Messerschmitt cabin roller. So you could see two people, one behind the other. And yeah, this opened like a jet fighter cockpit, and you got in and you could drive it around. So also 3 wheels. It was rear-wheel drive, but the front wheels were the ones that steered. This one had 250cc engines from Zachs.
That's
And
cool.
built, yeah. This is actually very sought after as a collector's item. There was a version with 175, then 200, and 250cc. And then these guys, smaller manufacturer called, also from Germany, called FMR, they got the Messerschmitt chassis and turned it into the Tiger. And this one had a 500cc engine, so it was and had 4 wheels. So it was, you could actually drive it like a sports car. And here they are driving in the Nürburgring. So these ones were roadsters, but you could have a coupe hardtop bolted in if you wanted. This one did not remain in production for too long, only 3 years. This is cute. It's the Fulda Mobile, another small time manufacturer. So this one actually looks like a bubble car because they wanted to do a car that was really aerodynamic, to compensate for the fact that the 200cc engine was not very powerful. This one was built for many years. It lasted from 1951 to 69. They did 250cc versions as well. There was a sports version with a 500cc engine, and you could fit 4 people inside. This is the most famous of the bubble cars, the Isetta. It was first built in Italy between 1953 and 1956 by a luxury car manufacturer called ISO. But the car was more expensive than the Fiat Topolino, which was bigger. So they licensed the design to BMW, and that's why the car is usually called the BMW Isetta, although it was not developed by them. This one had a 250cc engine, and this had some interesting particularities. So here's the car seen from the back. So the car actually has 4 wheels, but the rear axle, the wheels are close together. What was the advantage here? I don't really know. I think it was because of the chain drive, because it had a motorcycle engine, but it's not very good for driving behavior. So they could have gone with the regular 4-wheel car. And this is how you got in to the car. It opened from the front. You had to go over the front bench to go to the rear seats. And you'll notice here the steering wheel rack. It's mounted on the door. So it had a very complicated design here, so that you.
I've seen that one inside. Before. That one was in a movie or something recently, right?
Must have been. This car's pretty popular at the time.
Is that the one Mr. Bean or somebody drives that one? I've seen that one.
No, Mr. Bean had a Reliant Robin. It was different.
Could swore I've seen that like recently in something where the front opens like that.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, so it probably was an Italian movie. This one was similar. So this is the Einkel.
That one looks cool. Looks like you can steal it from the back too. Like you can go either way.
Yeah, and here it is from the back. That's where the engine is. It has the same. It has the same wheel placement as the Isetta. Heinkel later became a truck manufacturer, and it also opens from the front. But notice that the steering rack goes straight to the floor. So
Hard to
and
get
that
in. You have to be
yeah
real small to get into that one.
yeah. The thing is, they couldn't use the same system as the Isetta because that thing was what's the word?
The engineering on the other one would have been harder.
No, it had a patent, so Einkel would have to pay BMW to use the same design. So this one, this one they opted for the straight track. The SMZ. This one was a Soviet bubble car.
That one looks like you could float in the water, like you could drive it in the water.
Nope. But it could go over rough terrain, even if just one wheel at the front. This factory in the 1980s started producing cars for people with disabilities instead of making their own. The Peel, the blue one on the left is the Peel P50, and P50 it's because it had a 50cc engine, like a moped. You could try to fit two people inside, the driver and the passenger. No guarantee that it will work. The red one is the Trident, and it's the P50's replacement, but it had the same engine and chassis. But you could in this one you can't fit two people inside. And
it'd be fun to drive.
Yeah, back around 2010, they actually started building manufacturing the Peel P50 again on a limited production. Okay, so this one's not really a bubble car. This is the Lloyd LT500. It was built by Hansa Borgward. And the Borgwards used to be little sports cars that could fight against the Porsches. But they also built this thing. So this is a cargo van with a 400cc engine. a cargo van, yeah, but you could carry like half a ton inside, so it was actually pretty practical. And built on the same chassis from Hansa. This is the Suzu Light, which is one of the first car built to the Japanese K car system. So K car is a legal definition of a car. These cars, they don't pay road taxes, and they had at the time they were built with a motorcycle engine. So this is the Suzuki. They all had to have a maximum engine capacity of 360 cc's. So the Suzu Light still has a motorcycle engine.
Look at the travel that suspension can go. Look at the space in the body and the wheel.
Because this is the first Suzuki car. They were used to making motorcycles, so they had no idea how to produce the car, and that's why you have that much suspension travel. The K car category still exists, but now the cars are actually bigger than this. They have 660cc engines, and they're actually quite a lot more comfortable nowadays. Okay, so this one is not considered a car. This is the Piaggio Ape. It is considered a motorcycle. You don't actually need a driver's license because it has a 50cc engine, but it's been built in one way or another since 1949 with very little modifications, and you can still buy a new one with a more updated design. Now it has air conditioning. It actually has a steering wheel and not handlebars. For many decades it had handlebars. Now it's got a steering wheel. You can have a passenger in it, and this is mainly used as a cargo truck in European cities, because you don't for people who don't have driver's license, but they have to work doing deliveries. And and you can modify the.
Oh, look at that! That's perfect. You can sell comics out of the back of there.
Yeah, yeah. This one's an ice cream truck, and this is a normal cargo van. So this is a more modern version. It's got headlights on both sides. It has blinkers, and in Asia they are used as auto rickshaws. But this one is a special coach built edition made for the Italian market. So you can carry, well, depending on the country, some of them let you carry 10 people inside, but it's not a good idea. So 4 people, including the driver, that should be enough.
Call it tuk-tuk.
Yeah. And that is it.
That would be
You don't
fun.
have
On
the
a golf
pictures
course.
of no Nash Metropolitans. My uncle had a Nash Metropolitan.
The
It was
Nash
pretty
Metropolitan is too large to be considered a bubble car. It was very small.
It was.
Yeah, it's very small by American standards, of course. And it actually, like the Nash Metropolitan, it has a great design.
It's a beautiful car. I loved his car.
Yeah.
Check
He
out
was
this.
a
Is
daily
this a
driver. He
motorcycle
drove it
or a
every day.
car?
No, this one would be a motorcycle.
Look at, hey Meyer, is this San Francisco?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it is.
I post this picture every time it rains.
I haven't
my
seen
camera?
that.
Brian.
Hey, Brian.
When I
Hey,
want
guys,
people
how's
to come
everything?
and pick up their comics, I post this picture. And when it's raining,
That's great.
how fun would that be?
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
If everybody on the road was driving him, it would be fun. But if you're the only one in a small vehicle, it's not fun.
Brought to your town would be fun.
People already drive these things. They think they call them gators. These little John Deere, little
Yeah.
tiny vehicles around. I've never seen them before in my life. I guess it's some farmers have. But yeah, it's like The Prisoner, the TV show.
Oh, the car from The Prisoner, that was real. That was built in Portugal. The Mini Motor.
Really?
Yep.
The little cars they drive around the village. Is that?
Yep. Yep. It's a mini chassis and engine with plastic body work. It was assembled pretty close to where I live, about 5 miles to the west.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. We also built a mini station wagon, which opened like a hatchback with door hinges on the top, because that was different from the Mini Traveler. That one had the luggage compartment doors open like in a van, but here in Portugal we built it like with hatchback hinges. After Austin went bust, we sold the equipment to Cagiva in Italy, and they continued being produced there for a while. It was also built in Australia. Yeah, maybe I'll do that next time I decide to do something about cars. I'm going to show you all the known variants of the Mini.
Yeah, that's cool.
There's like a dozen
I'd
of
be
them.
happy. I'd be fucking happy to never see another comic book in my life on YouTube. To be quite honest with you, I'm about sick of. I love old comics, but I don't want to hear about this shit, man. I don't want. I don't give a shit. I'm about ready to give up, man. I'm not really that happy, you know.
Mm.
So
Hey, just be
you
glad
know,
I know.
be glad you're not selling them, Gratu, like me.
yeah, I've been in a comic store for a long period of time, going through '90s comics, and then it's horrible. It's horrible. I'm sure there are worse things that you could do, but seeing something that you once loved degraded and debased, I don't really want to see anything made past like maybe 1976 ever again.
I'm selling stuff like this. I mean,
Well,
instead of
that's
comics.
that. Oh yeah. That's great. Oh my gosh.
I have to figure out what to sell because comics aren't selling.
Yeah, well, that makes sense why they're not. How many did you sell of Horror Mike's book?
I think I have 2 left. I got 5. I have 2 left.
And I saw it was on your new comic book day video. I can't believe that didn't sell instantly to people. Sell out instantly.
Pretty cool seeing that art for the first time in print. I need to look at it again because I heard
I can't.
you know, in the famous the Misfits famous cover, whatever it was. What's the book? Whatever it is, Chamber of Horrors or whatever the title is. You know what I'm talking about with the girl with the glass?
Yeah.
Mhm.
The champagne glass and the skull behind it.
Yeah.
So supposedly on all the comics you can't see the cherry on the cigarette.
Early Misfits.
I guess on all the copies of the comic you can't see the cherry on the cigarette, but on the original art you can see it, supposedly. I need to double check that.
What was the reasoning behind that?
I think it's just a cut on the book. Cuts it right off.
I thought maybe they were chopping off the cherry because they didn't want to advertise smoking or something.
No, smoking was cool until when the late 60s, or maybe even to the 70s, smoking was cool.
Yeah.
When did they ban smoking on the planes? I remember when you used to be able to smoke on a plane. They had the ashtrays in there.
Not until the late 80s, maybe 89 or 90, something like that.
Yeah.
Right
and then they still allowed it on international flights for quite a while. And
Yeah.
then they finally stopped it on international flights.
I always thought it was funny, you know, I always thought it was funny that they had a smoking section in a restaurant or something when you're, okay, well, the smoking section is right here and then the non-smoking section is right here.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny when you see a plane and it still has the ashtray.
Those plastic shields.
Yeah.
You see a plane and it still has the ashtray, you know that plane's pretty old, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, it must have been 90. Was that right around the time that they banned it from inside buildings? I know California was one of the first states to do that. You couldn't smoke in bars.
A little earlier, I think, but right around the same time. It was around
yeah, yeah, you would know that too because you're over here also. Yeah, California, I think, was one of the first states.
I think out here you can still smoke in the VFWs. You can smoke in private bars.
Yeah. Well, here you can still smoke in the casinos, like the Indian casinos.
Oh yeah, casinos. Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Do they still have those smoking rooms in airports where it's like a glass room and everybody's smoking in there? And it's like you can't even breathe in there.
Yeah, my colleagues say they have to go to jail when they want a last cigarette before boarding the plane. Because that thing looks like a cage.
They still have those? I haven't been in an airport in a long time.
Yeah. Although they're making it difficult for smokers because they're keeping them away from the boarding gates. So if you're waiting for the boarding gate and you want another smoke, then you have to walk 5 minutes back, which means that you have to walk 5 minutes, smoke, and then run back to the boarding gate.
Missing Mars, all those classics illustrated are gone. Someone came in and bought them all.
Yeah,
but I'm sure he can provide you some other cool stuff. Look at that. That's great.
You know,
cool. I never even looked at the back. That back's cool.
Isn't that nice? My siblings completely ruined this movie for me. So, you know, I was the youngest and my siblings were all pretty much assholes, but quite a bit older than me. So I'm 4 and this was coming on like maybe Wonderful World of Disney for the first time that I was going to be exposed to it. And they gave complete spoilers. They told me, oh, you're too little you won't be able to handle it when Bambi's mom gets killed, right?
Wait, what happened?
completely ruined the whole movie for me because now I'm like 4 years old and I'm like thinking I'm gonna have to watch Bambi's mom get killed, right?
Well, you just spoiled it for me. I've never seen it.
I just
No,
I think
spoiled it.
I've seen it.
Bambi finally went. I think it went public domain.
Well,
They have a
the
horror
original-
movie. They have a horror movie coming out dealing with Bambi.
Well, Bambi's not really a Disney character. It's based on a series of books. The books are what went public domain.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's right.
There's a
Yeah,
comic.
you're right.
I just ordered. There's like some Pooh versus Bambi comic coming out. Winnie the
Yeah.
Pooh. Yeah.
And those Winnie the Pooh movies are they're hitting hard, man. They're people loving them.
And Steamboat
Yeah.
Willie. You could have Steamboat Willie as a killer now in movies.
I love those dolls.
Yeah, these are really good too. Great condition, Kevin.
That one I almost kept. I really like that one.
That one's
Isn't that beautiful?
fantastic.
I like that they're in a cave like that. Looks cool.
It's probably a 5.0 or a 4.5. This is a really good condition comic for Adele from like 1958 or whenever this is. Probably.
Wow, that
56,
is nice.
56 maybe. And the classics illustrated as well, really crisp and
Yeah,
like
beautiful.
glossy.
Yeah.
Those are the best ones I've ever seen. They're falling apart. The covers are just
Yeah.
falling off.
Yeah,
That looks like that would be really interesting to read too. That one.
yeah.
Hey,
Actually,
the background looks like an
the only one I
80s GI
started so
Joe.
far.
The background looks like an 80s GI Joe packaging.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the first book I started reading out of the whole stack so far.
Yeah.
This was beautiful. Also, just glossy from 1949. Look at this Song of Hiawatha.
Yeah. I
Look
don't
at that
remember.
look at that rainbow headdress.
Yeah,
I've got a box coming of stuff from the same collection, but I
Yeah,
don't remember what I got because I was in a
the stuff
frenzy.
that you get, I'm sure, is going to be. It's going to be just like this, right, Kevin? It's
Yeah.
all just really clean, clean
It's supposed
books.
to get to me Monday, but I bet it gets here Saturday. It's usually a day earlier than they say.
Hey, Fives,
But-
I hid all the stickers in his box so he doesn't have to pay like $17.
Oh, there you go.
Good idea.
Yeah. I hid him in the middle of the mad.
Nice. Yes.
But I think I put the mat on the very top.
What mad was that?
Right.
The free comic book day mat, the sticker in the middle.
Oh, right. When is-
Hopefully they don't look in the middle of that book. Hopefully they like choose one in the center.
The
If they're
mad
gonna,
facsimile of issue number 1 is June, right?
oh, that let's see that crocodile cover. I almost kept that one too. I like that one too.
It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I
Nice.
needed this one, and it's just a great cover.
Is
Yeah,
it
it is.
crocodile or alligator? Crocodile,
Uh,
right?
Crocodile.
This is crocodile.
Looks like an alligator to me. The alligators had the big round snout. Crocodiles had a thinner snout, I think.
Yeah, I forgot how
This
to
might be
talk
like
about
the
it.
Nile
But if it-
crocodile in Africa or something.
But if it's in Africa, it'd have to be a crocodile.
Yeah, the crocodile.
Did you guys see at the border an alligator ate 2 kids?
No, I didn't see that.
Where was that at?
Yeah, at the Texas border on one of the rivers. Some immigrants were crossing, and I think 2 children and the dad was eaten or something.
I didn't know they had alligators down there.
I didn't either.
Yeah, well, if it's near Louisiana, down there in the
Yeah, somewhere down there.
yeah,
Welcome
because they
again.
have gators in Louisiana, which borders Texas. So.
Oh yeah, let's see inside that one.
Didn't Josie and the Pussycats spawn from Archie?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I picked up the cartoon not long ago. They finally released the entire series of Josie and the Pussycats, and I was trying to remember where that came from. I thought it was Archie.
Right. Yeah, it started as a comic called Josie, and then they made it a band, I think, in 1970 because the Archie's Sugar Sugar was the #1 song of 1969. So they figured, let's create another band and put it on Saturday morning. of another character.
That was the only Archie in that whole collection.
It's from
Wonder why.
1957.
Wonder why
Yeah.
that was the only one.
I don't know. Maybe the kids took all the other ones.
It's weird. I never get superhero stuff. I always get this kind of stuff. Never superhero. Was it what happened back then? Like superheroes weren't popular, or just in certain areas?
Well, in the 50s, superhero comics had kind of faded. Because after the war was over, superheroes they went out of style, I think, to a large degree, until DC started bringing some of the heroes back with Green Lantern and the Flash.
I got this tarantula figure from Kevin as well from Gotham City Comics. Remember this guy from the with the pointy toes from the cover of the first issue of Peter Parker. He was in the first issue of Spectacular Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's
Is that
what I know.
one of his weapons? Is to kick you with those pointed shoes?
Yeah, that's his thing. That's the only comic I think I know this guy from is from the first issue of Peter Parker.
I think he was only in one or two comics. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I've got 2 Spider-Man issues with him in it.
Yeah, there's a Spider-Man issue that the cover looks very much like the first Peter Parker. It's almost the same pose where he's coming at Spider-Man the same way.
I got this cool little baby Rodan that's hatching out of an egg.
Is that a Bandai?
Yeah, it is. Look at these other figures that come in the line. Look at how cool they are. They're all like baby Godzilla characters.
I like the baby Godzilla. The one right there, right in the center. On the
Yeah,
left.
that's the one I want to get. That guy right there.
They're going after the baby Yoda market, I think. Although Japan's always loved the cutesy things.
Yeah, I think they've been doing this for a while.
Yeah, but those really look baby Yoda-like.
Here's this. I found this today, Kevin. I thought you might be interested in this.
Oh yeah,
wax
that's
museum.
Fisherman's Wharf. I've been to that museum.
Yeah. So this would have been in the 70s when one of the times that I went a bunch when I was a kid, but
I started going there in the 80s. I would always go there every time.
Is that even still there?
I don't know. It's I'm not sure, man. I really don't know
doubt-
what's
I
going
doubt
on down
much
there
is
right now.
left. I don't think anything's left in San Francisco,
Yeah.
right?
I don't really know what's. It's about a 15-minute drive from me, and I haven't been there in over 5 years, and I don't even know what's going on down there right now. I stay away from downtown or from.
That was Pier. Do they call it Pier 39? Is that what Pier 39?
Pier 39.
Yeah, we'd go there and we'd eat lunch there. We'd go to the wax museum. We'd go to there was a dark ride right next to that wax museum.
Yeah, there's Ripley's Believe It or Not museum was there. Used to be there.
I remember I was there in 1989 and when Batman the movie came out, and I bought a little plush figure of Batman right there.
There it is. That's it. This is the 71-72 edition, which is probably the first time that I went. And here's a map of North Beach, Columbus Street, Pier 39. This is a real close walk right to Chinatown. See where it says Columbus right there? If you keep walking up that street away from the waterfront, you know where right here is, where the wharf is, it leads you right to Grant Street, which is the main drag in Chinatown, where it looks like you're in another country.
I think the BART system, I think it was new when I first started going there. It was like brand new.
You got all these old. I wonder what they did with the old. Did they repurpose everything? Because there's a lot of old world leaders in here that I'm sure aren't, in the current day, even if they still did a wax museum, but they must repurpose the bodies or something, right?
Yeah. I always like the House of
Nowadays they
Horrors.
probably have Mark Zuckerberg. Right now they probably have Lady Gaga, and if it's still open right now, they have Lady Gaga and Mark Zuckerberg, right? And Kim Kardashian.
And they have
Yeah, I'm
Kamala
sure they do.
probably.
Uh,
They're the
Look,
vice
the Hall of
president.
Religions. Could you imagine a place in San Francisco called the Hall of Religions?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, they had like a haunted house inside there with the Hall of Horrors, I think they called it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we passed through it here.
You
There weren't
could
that many
choose.
pictures of it. Just that
You could
Frankenstein
choose to
picture.
skip.
It was
You could
called
choose to
Chamber
skip that part if you wanted to.
Chamber of Horrors. Yeah.
Chamber of Horrors. They show Frankenstein and they showed looks like Hirohito, Hitler, and is that Stalin?
Probably.
All right. Moving right along. You want to look at more stuff? You want to look at some food comic covers? Because I got some food comics from you yesterday and I didn't even realize it, but 3 of those Dells that I got from you were all food covers. And so
Is it you that collect food, or was it somebody else that collected food?
I collect food. I collect food covers. And so let me show you the ones that you sent me that I didn't even realize they were food covers, but all of these are good ones because I don't have them, and also they're cool. Like this is molasses. So here's why I like food covers. I have first of all, I used to just have them tacked up in my kitchen, but now that I'm moving to the new place, I have a vision of a nice frame that will be able to house 6 comics, 3 and 3 on top, right? Like maybe a frame like that.
Yeah, that'll look
2,
great.
3 of those in my new kitchen, and I can have a bunch of good food covers, and I can rotate them every now and again, and it looks like presentable in the new place. But that one you sent me, this is a great food cover that I didn't have yet that you sent me. I really like this one a lot.
That one's good. That's
These look
real.
really
You
good.
can really do that. You can get you can take some food scissors, and that really works when you're eating spaghetti.
You're right. It's an actual thing. So I think that covers that highlight food make really good decorations in your kitchen. Like this, I'm going to show you the ones that I've collected that were up in my kitchen that I actually took down today to consolidate. This is one of my favorite ones. It's just really funny. I think it's funny because of the look on Oswald's face, then also the look on Andy Panda's face, and then also the entire thing. Everything that's happening here is funny. Like, what is that? Is it chicken broth? It doesn't even look like tea. He's like splitting the stream with his dirty finger. Tea. Yeah, I think it's great. This is another great one, right? You should just put it right next to your toaster, right? Isn't this great for the kitchen? Yeah.
Yeah. Great, Tweety and Sylvester.
I have
this pretty much almost all of the movies.
Charlie the Chicken, he's selling antacids right next to Andy's chili stand. I love this one. This is this really old Fawcett Funny Animals. Isn't this great? Like this father and son team, and he's making the flapjacks and flipping them up in the air like the father chicken and baby chick. He's catching it with a catcher's mitt. Look at that.
Yeah.
Pure Americana right there.
What's he flipping?
Anthropomorphic animals.
Hotcakes.
Yep.
It's a hotcake?
Pancakes.
Looks like a peanut.
No, he was flipping hotcakes. Yeah, it's hotcakes. He's making hotcakes.
It's like a peanut.
It does kind of look like a peanut.
in the air it does, yeah. Oh, I love Spike and Tyke.
That's a nice one too. He ate all the food. Tyke ate everything. Little prick. He's an asshole. This is a great one. That's a really good one right there. I think it's funny, right? That buzzard is a real dick too. Here's a great Tarzan food cover. He's making friends with that banana. He's just got so many bananas, but then he's just really into the one he's eating at this point. This is one of my favorites. I love any of these Tarzan covers. This was a running theme for a while. There's about 3 or 4 of these painted covers where he's hanging out with these happy chimpanzees. and they're doing like happy things like this. They're just kind of hanging out and eating bananas and talking, hanging out and just kind of chatting it up.
Do they even have bananas in Africa? I thought that was South America, like the tropics.
I'm not sure. That's a great question. I don't know. This is one of my favorite kitchen covers. You should get this for your kitchen. With my new formula, I shall conquer the world. And she says, after you finish drying the dishes. Isn't that great?
Yeah. Yeah, I love the Madhouse comic.
This is another big hit. I always love this one. It's one of my favorites that used to be in my kitchen, but now it's not, but it will be in the new kitchen. I just like the whole thing. I like the act of comedy that's happening here and the look on Andy Panda's face.
Hey, that's an eye injury cover.
It is. It is an eye injury.
That should be banned.
Yeah, a little splatter there. Some gore.
This one's kind of suggestive, like sexually suggestive or something. Like Donald is being cucked by the sandwich, right?
Yep.
There's even a grape soda down here.
Hey, by the way, to answer your question, yes, they do have. They do produce bananas in Africa. There,
okay.
in several of the countries in Africa. Several.
Probably along the equator, I would imagine.
Gabby Hayes, Vittles for Villains.
Is he making eggs?
Yes, he's cracking some eggs. I like this one.
Nice celery slide.
Yeah, mice just playing with the food. No big deal.
It's a perfect slide.
And then here's the last one. The Mouse Musketeers, and they're roasting marshmallows inside of this knight's helmet.
Nice.
Yeah, little Tom and Jerry go way back. I've been trying to finish off all the shorts, but man, they were making them since the 40s, I think.
I got this this Diane Keaton action figure today. It's from Looking for Mr. Goodbar.
I thought that was Harley Quinn.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. It's some wrestler named Alexa Bliss, some female wrestler. But I thought it was funny to say that it's from Looking for Mr. Goodbar, right? Nobody gets that reference.
Yeah.
Probably.
Could you show a few more things? I wanted to go brush my teeth and feed the cat.
Yeah, sure. I can show some books. I can show some.
I'm gonna tap out, guys. I'm gonna go to bed.
What now? Okay.
Hey, thanks for showing those cars.
Hey,
I like those
see you
cars
later.
a lot.
Yeah, that were cool.
Yeah, I'll put some more cars for other times then. Okay, see ya.
Take
Have
care.
a good one.
Those cars were really cool.
Yeah, they were really cool.
You can't find them. Where would you even find one of those? I've never seen one of them.
You see a lot of them in England. When I was in England, I even took pictures of them because I thought they were so unusual. Years
Here
ago.
you have to find them at an auction for a ridiculous amount of money. Is where
You'd have to have it shipped here from somewhere. I've
can
never
find them
seen
here.
one.
You can find them here, but you're gonna have to find them in places like Carmel or Laguna Beach.
Yeah,
that's where you're gonna find those cars.
Because they have a car auction out here, but they don't have that. I've never seen one of those.
So where are you moving, Meyer? Are you staying in SF, or are you moving somewhere else?
I'm moving to Grass Valley.
Oh, okay.
You know where that is? Up in the mountains?
I've heard of it, yeah.
Tahoe National Forest. It's kind of up near Truckee.
Oh, nice.
How many hours away is that from where you're at right now?
2 hours.
Okay, that's not bad.
And that's north or going south?
It's east. It's almost straight east. It's like
Oh,
on the way
okay.
to Reno. It's near
gotcha.
Donner Pass. It's about a half hour from Donner Pass. Seriously, it's not very far from where they ate each other.
Yeah, I've heard
Pretty
the
close.
name. I couldn't picture where it is exactly, but now I got
Maybe
to
an hour, maybe an hour.
We used to drive to Tahoe from here. It's not that far.
From
Lake
Arizona?
Tahoe. Lake Tahoe is amazing.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
My wife used to live in Sebastopol.
Oh, that's a nice place. That's also beautiful.
It is nice.
All these old Dell Giants that I have, these are all from the 50s. And most of these are part of the actual Dell Giant line.
Oh, look at Bugs Bunny's eyes on that one. Zoom in on those. Oh, he's sleeping. That's why. Never mind.
He's relaxing on the beach. He's holding up his own hammock, defying gravity because he's so high. He's so high that he's defying gravity.
Yeah.
Is that a joint in his mouth or a piece of straw?
It's the straw. It's the straw to a Coke. And Porky Pig is wearing pants. So look at this. Porky Pig doesn't wear pants anywhere but the beach. The only time he puts on shorts is when he's at the beach.
Maybe it's
Usually it's
Porky
just a
girls
shirt
there.
and no pants, right? It's called
Right.
Porky Piggin' It. We always
Yeah,
call that Porky Piggin' It. We around the barracks we call that Porky Piggin' It, where you just all you got on is a shirt and nothing underneath, right? And just Porky Piggin' It.
Porky Pig in it.
You're supposed to be shirts long enough.
Yeah, they
Well,
don't have any,
everyone else hopes your shirt's long enough, really.
Donald Duck didn't wear any pants either.
No.
Nope.
He was in the Navy. See?
Oh, there's Manahorn.
Isn't that
Yeah.
nice? This is a neat one. This is an early
Wow.
Disneyland USA when the park was pretty new. Let's look at the year on this.
Look at when
This
the
is almost like this comic is almost like an advertisement for the park, Kevin. You should get this.
oh, I love that one.
It's
When
really
the,
good.
Remember when the what do they call that when the cart goes across?
It's 1960, so the park would have been open for 5 years, but they're really using the comics to really advertise the park.
The skylift went right through the middle of the mountain. I remember that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And if you
Look
got
at the
lucky
training
enough,
context
if you
shows
got lucky
everything.
enough
Look,
when you're on the skylift, you
right
went
there.
through the middle and you got to
Right
see
there.
the monster.
You're right. The Yeti.
Every once in
Yeah.
a while, you were lucky you got to see the monster when you went through.
Yeah, because he only popped out when a car was going when the roller coaster went by it, right?
So it was like a 1 in 5 chance you would see. That's a great. I've never seen that book. I would have bought that.
I got
What
this
number?
from my comic shop about 10 years ago, probably, or something.
What number is that?
It
Writing it
is.
down.
It's Dell Giant number 30.
All right, nobody buy it right now.
Dell Giant number 30, Disneyland USA. Like I was saying, with these Dell Giants, sometimes Dell can get confusing in that a lot of these titles, they came out with their own Giants all different seasons. Like there would be Christmas Giants or spring or back to school or summer. All the other titles did it, but Dell Giant, including Tarzan, had his own jungle annuals. But with even Dell Giant would mix it in. So this is Dell Giant number 37, and it's a Tarzan.
Yeah, I have a giant Tarzan here right now. It's coverless. I know. I think I gave it to that guy that was just here.
See, like here's this is not
Oh,
the
yeah.
Dell Giant. This is Walt Disney's Picnic Party. This is
The
kind of a
picnic.
funny cover. I like this. You know, Donald's at his party. He's having fun chasing the butterfly, and he's going to step right on his cake.
I think that's when Uncle Scrooge first shows up on the covers in one of those picnic ones.
Here's a rare appearance on comic cover of Drew the dog in this treasury of dogs. Look, there's Drew.
Sure is.
Hey, the Uncle Scrooge comic is coming out in 3 weeks. It has the Alex Ross cover on it.
Oh, that sounds good. That might be good.
It-
Here's the original first Lady and the Tramp Giant that came out when Lady in the Tramp came out, and it's the whole movie.
It's Uncle Scrooge, and it's written by
Beautifully
Jason
done.
Aaron.
Look at it.
It's written by the Thor. It's written by the Thor art writer, Jason Aaron.
that beautiful? It's really
Beautiful.
glossy and heavy. Square bound.
It looks brand new.
Yeah.
You just buy that off the rack today?
Yep. I love how they have these table of contents pages. Isn't that nice, you guys? Isn't that what a quality?
Look how many stories. There's like
Quality
14
production.
stories in here.
This is 1955.
Wow. Hey, Meyer, what was the year on that Disneyland one that had Matterhorn on it?
Hey, wait till I get my copy.
It was 1960.
60. Okay.
Here's the Flintstones, bigger and bolder. This is a giant size Dell or gold
Never
key.
seen that cover. They're carving out his face on there.
Yeah. I like how it's called just bigger and bolder. I like that. Let me pull it out because the back cover, I think, is a pinup of that.
Yeah, I've never seen that. I would have bought that if I saw that.
The Flintstones, bigger and bolder. I think if you just search that, it comes up. It's like a one-shot giant made by Gold Key in about 1962 or something. 1962. And it's the cover is that heavy cardstock that they only made a few Gold Key giants out of.
Wow.
It's
It's
heavier
like,
than your typical.
It's the Mount Rushmore. If they did a Mount Rushmore of Hannah-Barbera, definitely he's on the front. He's on the first spot, Fred.
Yeah, definitely.
But who's on the who's second on a Mount Rushmore of Hannah-Barbera?
Yogi Bear, maybe. Huckleberry Hound.
If it were up to me, it would be Johnny Quest. But
oh, there you go. Yes.
There's so many good Hannah-Barbera. That's like one of the toughest Mount Rushmores to make, I think.
It would be.
It's Jetson. George Jetson is on there. It's George Jetson. It's
if you're going by popularity, it would definitely be George Jetson over Johnny Quest.
Yeah.
But I love the
only reason, Johnny Quest was real popular. I finally got the Blu-ray on that series, and it didn't last for very long.
No, it should have lasted longer.
They ran out of money, is what happened. It was a very expensive cartoon to produce for some reason.
And MeTV, I think in about a month or is in June, is going to start a MeTV cartoon channel. It'll have Johnny Quest and a lot of old 1930s cartoons and.
Oh well, they have that. They have that guy in the morning every morning. What's his name? I can't think of his name.
Yeah,
he's got that. He's got that tuna dude with him. That tuna puppet.
Yep.
Yeah, is it going to be based on that?
I don't know. I just saw people talking about it today online. I think it's MeTV Tunes or something.
Oh, that'll be cool. I would like that. The only because I get over the air only, so I stopped cable and satellite and all that crap a long time ago. But
what else does MeTV put out? Is it that the horror host guy on there?
I'm sorry,
Svengoolie? Yeah.
Yeah, he's on there on Saturday nights. He starts at 8 o'clock and goes till I think he goes 2 hours now. He extended his show, so he'll do a movie and talk through, do the normal thing, and then after that he just like screws around in his studio.
Yeah.
Bruh, too, I thought of you when I saw this. I thought maybe you want this cover.
What is it?
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, Power Girl. Okay. Yeah.
Super
Is the inside crummy?
The inside is going to be garbage. Yeah.
Well, is it just a regular price comic?
Yeah.
Yeah, then I guess I'd take one.
Yeah, I ordered one. I thought you would like that.
Oh, that's not out yet?
No, it's 3 weeks out.
Oh, yeah.
It's a nice piece of art.
Yeah, it is. Let me show you something. Is this one of the facsimiles you have?
I haven't seen that one yet.
Okay, maybe they haven't done that. I just
But
posted that.
next week, or I should get it in tomorrow, is Our Army at War.
Oh yeah, that's one I definitely want. Or do you think we'll get that Brave and the Bold Teen Titans also?
I already put your name down on here. Yeah.
Oh, let me see. Yeah.
Just put your name.
Missing Mars says, Kevin, your customer service is second to none.
Yeah, I can't concur enough. Missing Mars, incredible customer service, always great packaging, great selection, great pricing. Everything's fantastic. Really good.
Definitely.
Very satisfied customer of Gotham City Comics.
Thank you.
And
Yeah, I agree.
oh,
And
I got a message back from Dark Ride Dracula. They said maybe next weekend they could do something. Let me see if I can't find that.
Dude, that guy's traveling around all the time. He's probably too busy. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's that. He says he doesn't really have the setup for what does it say?
What was that show he was at today? The video he put up was incredible.
Well, I just started watching it a second, but where he brought a picture of Butch Patrick when he was like 4, and he was gonna give it to Butch Patrick. That might be interesting. He says, well, we might be able to do it next weekend. We're not set up to do live streams right now, which is why we don't do them on the channel, but we should be able to work something out for next weekend since our schedules line up. If you're doing one, then yeah, I should be definitely.
I told him I'm moving. I'm told him I'm moving out there.
Huh. Yeah, because it's just they have a much better chance of finding things. It seems like out there.
They have these conventions where they get to go and watch the movies like on the big screen.
Yeah, that's I don't know why it's not that way everywhere, but well, if they watch tonight and see me just all depressed and pissed off, it's not going to be that appealing for them to come on. It's like just.
I'll keep commenting on their videos until they come on.
So I come home to a letter. We've been gradually paying the property tax, and they do it differently here in this state. Where I got this letter, it was like, well, it's not all paid by the end of May, in early June, that they people can buy your amount you owe.
Yeah, they do that out here too, and there's people that sit there and watch those listings and wait for you to go delinquent, and then they swoop them out from under you.
And then you have to pay them that with interest, right? So
I don't know. I've heard horror stories where they just take your place. Yeah.
Well, they can take it after 3 years if you don't pay. But it's just we're going to get it done. But there's everything's going wrong. And I just feel like feel like I'm in junior high school. I don't know.
Good people are being punished and bad people go unpunished.
Well, I just, I just shouldn't even talk. It's just like, I didn't mean to hurt people's feelings. I just feel like I'm the whole scapegoat of all of this. It's like, we're having a 4-Color Fossils reunion next weekend. Oh, yeah, it's the first I've heard of it. Everyone else seems to have already gotten an email about it. It's like, oh, well, maybe I'm just persona non grata, because I'm hated. So I just, that guy's politics. I don't know what it is. It's like, fuck it.
You don't need an invitation, in my opinion.
Well, I don't know. I mean, these are friends of mine, and it's like,
hey, you just walk through the door. You're already in. You don't need an invitation.
I'm sorry, but everyone else gets invitations. But me, that's kind of, it's like, well, I'll have you on in 15 weeks.
Well, he was on the show tonight.
I know, but I don't think what's going on, man. I just
you just feel bad because you didn't get the formal invitation. I wouldn't feel bad because you just walk through the door. You're automatically in there.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I kind of feel somehow distanced, but maybe that's just me being a prima donna.
I do know that he said that it was going to be the original fossils, and you're one of the originals. So I'm assuming that he implied that it's going to be all of you original guys. That's what he said.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's like I don't know. It just hurt my feelings, and so. And, you know, I got that shock opening that letter today. We should be able to take care of it before the morning just by finding credit cards with certain amounts of money on them and just get it done. But, you know, that's, you know, and then the IRS is wanting to charge like $1,300. And then it's like, oh, my wife calls the IRS and they say, well, oh, that shouldn't be charged because it's like a penalty that Barack Obama put in there if you don't have health insurance. I've got health insurance. She's got health insurance. So but apparently when she filed the taxes, it wasn't asked on whatever app program she used. So they said, well, that should be taken care of. So she's called over 20 times and they say, yes, let me connect you with this person. And then they, you know, click after 30 minutes of holding, they hang up on you.
I thought they did away with that health insurance thing.
Oh, no,
They did
no.
under Trump. They did, and then Biden got elected, and he reinstated it day one.
Biden
Probably
brought every horrible thing back that
Yes.
Trump got rid of instantly day
Yeah,
one.
I'm not paying those people for that. Fuck them.
So, you know,
IRS, hello.
they hired like thousands of extra workers just to come after us.
Yeah.
Actually, from what I understand, they laid off a bunch of people because we've been paying for everybody else's fucking wars. And they laid off a bunch of people in the IRS, and they're like piled up over there. We haven't gotten our refund from the federal, and we did it months ago.
Yeah. Well,
and they just said, "Well, we're just over busy." No, you're just stupid, is what you are. You guys need to be shut down.
so there's everything just, you know, the house is pretty much destroyed basically I didn't realize it was that bad, but we get new siding and new roof, new bunch of things. They even found dents in the garage door. I mean, and it's like, oh, everyone seems to be so happy. Oh, they're doing all this to my house. Yeah, but wait till you see what your bills become soon.
Insurance rates were already going up, and now it's going to go up crazy.
Yeah.
And
it's just 83 magic tornadoes hit the Midwest, right in the places where they don't want people to live. The Bill Gates wants to buy up all the farmland. They want you to live in the city, and they're going to figure out a way to get you off that land if they have to gin up some tornadoes. And, I talked to a 9-year-old man. I've never seen hail like that in my whole life.
Yeah, I saw your car for the first time the other day, and that was like definitely golf ball size.
It was baseball size. The car next to me had its whole back window smashed out.
Yeah, I've never seen dents like that.
Well,
I'll be right back.
Definitely totaled. I mean, because it's a 2005 Subaru with that kind of damage. It's definitely totaled. So
yeah, that's total.
So, as long as I can fix the windshield and the sunroof, I'll just live with the horrible damage, and maybe it'll give me enough money to buy a lawnmower.
The sunroof for sure, so no like water seeps in through the top.
Probably it will. I don't know. It really rained today, but I don't know if it seeped or not. So, I'm already in a pretty bad mood, and then it's like, oh, there's a reunion, but see, there's no invitation for you.
How long? I mean, you don't need a reunion. It hasn't even been gone.
Oh, it's been gone. It's just it doesn't seem like it's been gone because I've been doing this bootleg show, which just not really the same thing, because when I do it, it's a whole different animal. But I just wanted to keep talking to my friends, and not wait 15 weeks, which was, I was told I would be guest number 15. After 15 weeks, I could come on and show some Batmobile toys. It's like, okay, well, my comic collection, if the shit I collect is clearly not interesting enough, I don't have enough Westerns or whatever. So, I mean, it's just all, it's so, I like I said, I was out of junior high school in 1980, and I don't want to be dragged back into it. So I think I'll be taking a vacation from a lot of that stuff. It's like, I don't think, that I just don't think I'm really liked by a lot of people too much. And I'm pretty sure that some of the people that really hate me are going to be on that show. The ones. So, and it's like, okay, maybe I have feelings too. We're so concerned about those people that were horribly offended. Maybe I've got feelings too. Maybe I can have my feelings hurt. It's possible that I'm just playing an act as this weird, angry, insane guy. Maybe that's kayfabe kind of thing. Maybe I actually do have feelings, so it's not like, oh, that grow too. It's, bullshit. It's just not, just fucked up. So I think, should I even keep doing this YouTube stuff? I mean, I don't know. How many people enjoy it? 14 people? I don't know. So I shouldn't be offended because I didn't get an invitation. I should just storm the party, huh?
Not storm it.
How am I going to do that? I put the address in the chat. You can't get into a show unless you're sent the email. So,
If you're like me, you wouldn't even gotten your emails till like a week or two later.
Yeah, I mean, if I didn't have, if I trust me, if I didn't put the
you want to
link
get a hold of me right away, text message me.
We'll talk about a flock of seagulls and things that I find offensive, things that I would like football. Those are shit. That's shit I would never talk about, and maybe I need to just turn into like an insane person and just start turning people's cameras off when they talk about football, because I don't give a shit about it. Maybe I should just turn into some crazy shock jock and just like, I'm sorry, you mentioned flock of seagulls. Goodbye. I don't give a shit about any of that.
What is flock of seagulls?
I was watching the Raiders, and man, what a game! No, I'm just kidding.
Right. We love you, Kevin. You don't know who a flock of seagulls is. It was a early MTV band that had their hair swooping down. Something that if you love John Byrne comics, that you would probably love.
Wait, how does the hair go? I didn't see.
Like I don't know, swooping waves of ridiculous new wave idiocy.
Oh, like Tony Hawk's hair.
It's like, why you mention that on my stream? I don't want to ever remember that band existing.
What was their best hit?
My airwaves, and
remember
I show to tell people.
Hey, Kevin, you remember? I think it was called Iran. Iran. Da, 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 da. That was a real popular one.
I think that was
that new wave 80s or something.
Yeah, it was during the.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was during the disco. The guy looks like a biker now.
New wave 80s.
I don't know, man. I don't know anything.
The only reason why I
like
know about him is
music
because of my wife.
I want to talk about music. I want to talk about monsters. I want to talk about comics about monsters. I want to talk about I don't want to talk about superhero comics from the 90s. I want to talk about red monkeys. let's take a
I
look
can
at
tell you the
this.
whole story about this red gorilla right here.
Thank you.
Tell you the whole story. This red gorilla right here is a lifelong totem for me. Right?
Is that
You know how
Marx?
when you
Is
were
that
a
a
little,
Marx thing?
it's not. It's not Marx. It's like a knockoff. I think that this is. I don't know the company name. It's an American company from the late '60s, and they made this was a part of a jungle set through the '60s and the '70s. So I had this when I was a little kid, and it was like a totem. Like you know how some kids you might carry a rock or a arrowhead or a rabbit's foot. This is a perfect pocket size, fits in your hand. It's something that I've been messing with in my hand for like 60 years, almost like 55 years. It's like, you know, that I know the ins and the outs, everything about this sculpt and this little figure.
Is it Kong
Now
or
there's
just a gorilla?
He even had
it's
some
just
ass on there.
it's just a gorilla. It's just a gorilla.
But
Yeah,
have you
got-
ever found the manufacturer or seen another one on eBay or anything?
Oh yeah. It's really common. They made it in red and blue and green and yellow, and it was just a rack toy that would have been sold in a bag with a whole bunch of other animals, also all different colors.
Can
They
you
still
zoom in
make
on
that
his
stuff
face?
in the dollar stores.
Can I see his face? The expression he's making?
Yeah, sure.
Put your hand behind it. Yeah. I can't see him.
So there's a story.
what I
So there's
want
a
this
story
channel
too
to
about
be.
him. I can tell you is that.
Please.
What's that?
I said, please tell the story. This is
All
what I
right.
want this channel to be, is stuff like this.
So his mouth is open, and you can even see his teeth a little bit, but especially this hand with all of his fingers are really visible, and he's got this real like unusual pose where he's doing this thing. You know, he's got
It's
his
like he's pledging allegiance or
Right.
swearing an oath, which
So-
is why,
So one day when I'm about 10, my best friend Garth and I are in my front yard, and we're working on this bike ramp, this bike jump that was always in constant like construction and modification. You guys remember when you would do that? And to make the
Absolutely.
ramp a little bit better or to do this, you're always moving it around and stuff. So we're hanging out in the front yard and we're working on the bike ramp, and my mom comes out, and she used to do this thing where she was real June Cleaver-like sometimes. And she comes out with like a plate, like not a paper plate, an actual plate with peanut butter and jelly sandwiches on Wonder Bread and some chips and some of those little juice drinks that are in the clear plastic kind of jug container with the foil top on it that you had to peel
Yeah, I
off.
remember
take
those.
that off.
Oh,
So
yeah.
she brings that out to us, and we're getting, we sit down there in the dirt, and my friend Garth is always impressed by my mother's like June Cleaver persona. So he's like, wow, your mom's awesome. And I said, yeah, she's okay. And so I did this thing that he saw me do that he'd never seen me do, but this was a thing that I had been doing with this gorilla for years and years. He watches me, and I take that Wonder Bread that she's sliced, into like a triangle, and I take my gorilla and I make a face and hand imprint right into the Wonder Bread because it always works perfectly, right? It kind of fits perfectly. It's like a great feeling. It gushes right in there. Then I look at the bread to look at the imprint of my gorilla's hand in my sandwich, and sometimes his face and his mouth in there. And then I eat my sandwich, and Garth looks at me like, what the fuck did you just do, dude? And I said, I'm just like feeding my gorilla while I eat at the same time. And he's like, what the hell? Yeah, that's totally a true story.
that's great.
But this is what I would take with me, like going on a car ride. This guy would be in my hand like the whole time, like when, going places and doing things.
Like a good luck charm.
Yeah.
This is
That
really
was a
cheering
play
me
set?
up.
Did it come with trees and stuff?
What's that?
That was a play set. Did it come with palm trees and everything?
Yeah, it probably did at one point. Yep.
Yeah, they still make stuff kind of like that, where you get them in the plastic bags, like zoo animals or jungle adventure stuff. You get like a little Jeep with a bunch of animals and some trees. And
Not like that.
They're not the same. Back then, they used to have a nice box with them.
yeah,
Yeah.
With really grit, or the art was the best thing about them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is an amazing thing, and that almost, if you could get a really good photograph of that with a good background, that could almost become the symbol of the DUM-DUM meetings. That could
Oh,
be
okay.
that could, yeah, that, because it's perfect to me. It's just so great. You just, if we could just get a really good photograph, a close, tight close up of it, man.
Oh, guys,
So-
here I was just outbid on. Speaking of play sets, I was
Oh,
just
were you?
outbid.
Oh, you were.
On that
How
thing, right? That's one of a kind, right? I saw that. Was that on? Was that you that posted that on?
Oh wow!
Yeah, I sent
Can
you
I
a
ask?
picture. You and Meyer.
Can I ask
But
how much, Kevin? How much is it going for now?
Right now, it's at 81. He's gonna make more.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
But
one
look
of a
at this
kind
is the
thing.
same kind of play set that Gorilla probably came. A play set just like this.
Maybe in the early stages at the very beginning, but when I got it, it was just in a plastic bag on a header card with like 15 other animals, and they were all boring to me. Only the gorilla was the one that I actually kept and played with and held on to for 50 years.
Those Marx play sets had nice boxes like this.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yes,
Scuba
they did.
diver right there. Scuba diver in the middle, right?
I don't
Yeah.
even know.
Looks like
I
two
can't even see
scuba
that.
divers, and then there's the creature as well, and a couple sharks, a couple
I thought
fish.
there
I
was
like
a
this
I thought it was a skeleton sitting on a
The skeleton.
broken-
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
it's a
great.
broken pirate ship. Yeah. There's a shark.
Yeah, that is incredible. What's the name of the artist that created
Tiny,
that?
tiny plastic man. He's the best custom artist I've ever seen.
Yeah. And it's sold for only $80, a one of a kind thing.
No, it ends in 21 hours. It has 17 bids.
Oh, you were
it'll be-
outbid,
it's
but
gonna-
not completely. He
It'll
didn't
be
win.
more
No
than
one
that,
won it
yeah.
yet.
This guy's stuff, I didn't think I was gonna win. This guy's stuff sells for too much money. I don't own any of his stuff.
Yeah,
Does
we
he-
should
he
probably be
actually makes
advertised
these?
if you're still trying to win it.
Kevin,
wait,
he
yeah, this
makes
is-
these or what?
Yes, yeah. This is an original piece.
How does he sculpt all of that? What is it, like molds?
So the bottom is a vacuum form. If you know how a vacuum form is made, so that took a lot of time. Each piece, he hand sculpted each piece. Every week he would do a new piece. So this took him almost a year probably to make.
Good Lord. Yeah, I'd be $80 wouldn't do it for me. That's
Oh, you know what? I just
it's gonna
that's
end
too
for
low.
$100. This is gonna be like $500.
Oh
hey, it suddenly just came to me, Kevin. The brand that made that gorilla is called MPC, and they're the most common American brand that was selling and competing with Marx. MPC, very common, and that's what the gorilla is. He's an MPC African safari animal, I think is what he is. There it is.
Yeah.
That's it right there, MPC.
It stands for multiple products, doesn't it?
Yes, multiple products company.
They're repopping all the models
Corporation.
now.
Yep.
Wow, so they made the cars too.
There's a chance they could
they were a
repop
big model
this,
company. They made tons of models in the 60s and 70s, and they also made tons of little plastic army men and animals and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
They could repop that whole set you just got, or you have.
Neat. Yeah, they could, I guess. They thought there's a demand for it. Wow.
If they think there's a demand for the granny's car, why not the gorilla set?
Yeah, that car was never used on the series, I don't think, was it? Unless there's an episode I don't remember.
There's another MPC. Don't confuse it with NPC. NPC is different.
Yeah, I remember the name MPC. Yeah, certain old brands that like Transogram and stuff that don't exist anymore. Kenner doesn't exist anymore, does it?
Oh, the other thing about this,
the
other thing about this gorilla is that it's really solid and heavy by comparison to other plastic figures of this year and type. I just realized that. The other thing that stands out is that this was another figure mixed in with There's a figure mixed in with all these other animal figures that look skinny and light and small, but by comparison, this guy's solid and heavy and thick, and you know what I mean. There's something to it.
Is he waxy?
Yeah, very waxy. You can maybe see the
Does he
lighting is
float?
shit.
Does he float in water?
I think he sinks, but I don't remember. I'm not sure. Look at that. Look at that. Look at his feet too. Look at the positioning of his feet.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
It's like
It
he's
is weird.
becoming a U.S. citizen, you know. He's got his arm up.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
taking an
I-
oath. It's like he's taking the oath right there.
Yeah.
Pledging allegiance to the flag.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, he should be the symbol of the Gratu army.
Yeah, we'll do something with that for sure.
Here's another NPC I'm getting tomorrow.
Oh no.
Nice.
Oh, that looks cool.
I never saw those. If those existed in real life, I guess they did. Those are model kits.
Yeah, it's a skill level of 2, so ages 10 and up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That they thought the series was going to be a lot more popular than it was.
The soundtrack is great. I have the record. Yeah.
Oh, the soundtrack's great. I mean, it was a great show. It didn't take off.
It was before my time. I would have been all in on it.
Well, the first season, the actors were very stiff, and they kind of were just like the marionettes in the earlier Anderson series. And then the second season, they had them loosen up, and they tried to bring in a female Mr. Spock alien that could transform into animals, and they tried to make it more relatable like Star Trek. But in the first season, it was very dry, and nobody really smiled. It was very
I found it boring, but my older brother liked it, but he was kind of a weirdo.
yeah, but when that opening theme song came on, that was amazing.
The whole opening was great. The whole opening was fantastic. Yes.
Oh, they're
And the
always
girl
great.
with the alien you're talking about was hot. She was hot, right?
Yeah, I forget her name. It'll come to me, but
It's kind of like
Yeah,
Doctor
yeah,
Who.
good
I love the opening, but I couldn't stand the show. I don't know why I couldn't get into it.
That Doctor
Remember
Who
Doc-
song. Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
I
show,
love
Brian?
that. I love the opening. I love the music, but man, the show is just like
Which show are you talking about, Brian?
Doctor Who.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Doctor Who. Yeah.
Doctor.
I think the 5th Doctor is the best with the big scarf. He was the best.
Oh, Tom
Yeah.
Baker.
Yeah, he was my favorite as well. Tom Baker.
I never really watched. I always heard about Doctor Who. It came to the United States around that time in the late 70s. I never really gave it enough of a chance, but people that I respect like it. But initially I just thought, because it's like a lot of British shows. It's shot on videotape.
Yeah.
And then whenever they go outdoors, it suddenly
Yeah.
switches over to film. And
It
I
bothered me as
heard
well.
that was a
It bothered me
union
too.
thing when videotape came in. The people that shot the film cameras didn't want to lose their jobs, so they made a deal where if any outdoor shots are shot on film, and as soon as they go indoors, it's shot on videotape like a soap opera. And
Yeah.
that kind of turned me off. It just didn't look right. And that's the way all British shows are from that time period. Something doesn't look right about them. But I don't know much about it, you know.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it was very soap opera looking.
Kind of like
But
how Twilight Zone was at the end.
Huh? I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, like how Twilight Zone got like at the end.
Yeah, yeah.
Twilight Zone at the end.
Got like weird. The film got weird. Like it was a shot on like Tales from the Crypt too. Got like that at the end.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
season 7 of Tales of the Crypt was kind of weird. Yeah, it looked like soap opera.
It's like they film it all in like one take or something. They don't like cut it or something.
I think they knew it was over, and they were just like, "Let's just get this shit out of the way and get out of here," you know.
It seemed like the last season of Twilight Zone, they were hour-long episodes, right? That's what you might be thinking of the newer color Twilight Zones.
Yeah,
No, I was thinking like
the
when
old
it
original
changed, like
Twilight
the
Zone
film.
did.
The film looks like really weird. Like the film reminded
the-
me of a soap opera.
In the
The
black
I'm
and
gonna have
white.
to go back and look at that. Yeah.
Well, the old Twilight Zone did shoot a few episodes on video.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
They did, but I think there was only like 3 or 4 is all.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the original, Kevin?
The original from the early 60s, late 50s,
Yeah,
early
we're
60s.
Right, right. I never
Yeah,
got
I have
into
the
the new one. I
episodes.
have the original series.
Yeah, I have the whole collection, and
Yeah.
and they did do a couple of long ones as well as some on video. And I agree, the videotape does not hold up like the film, but
Yeah.
thankfully they only did a few of those on the video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I picked up that definitive collection, which is pretty good. It's got all the special features and they even kept the commercials during the time, you know, which was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way? I think you know this, Brian. How do you get a complete list of what's out from Warner Brothers on demand disc?
What do you mean?
Well, there's some titles that Warner they don't have out in mass production, but if you request it, they'll burn a DVD-R of that movie or whatever for you.
Yes.
Oh, I'm not sure. I've never gone that route. I just get whatever's available. But
Is this the one you have,
you-
Brian?
Hold on, let's see what we got here.
Yes.
yeah, that's the original series there.
Yes.
That's not what I have. Mine came in a big box.
Yeah, this is new. I just got this. I used to have
Yeah,
that
that's
big
the
box.
that's the new packaging. The original packaging was a big, huge box, and it had all 5
Yeah.
seasons in it.
That one's better. Get the old box because these new boxes they completely suck. They've
Is it-
stacked
is it-
these. They stack
is
them
it
in here to
page?
make them smaller.
Oh yeah, and they fall out and everything. I hate
stack
that
like-
overlapping. Yeah.
They stack like 5 CDs in here, each on each page.
Oh, I hate that. Oh, I hate
I do
Yeah.
too.
And I don't even know
Yeah,
how
the
to.
old box. The old box.
So-
It's a single CD per page, I think, or DVD rather.
Yeah, they compacted this one into a tiny box.
Yeah.
And then, I hate when they're so tight on the spindle that you feel like you're bending the disc in half to get it off the spindle on some of those sets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the only complaint I have with the original is the plastic that they used for the packaging, for the spindle is really hard. I mean, it's
But
just
it's
like a rock.
it's so cheap. I think I paid 100 for my original one, and then I maybe paid 20 for this one.
Yeah, I paid about 100 for the original. Yeah. But I think the original has more stuff on it.
My deal with DVDs is I've always thought they should have been sold in jewel cases like CDs, because inevitably, if you ever mail order and get a disc sent to you, it's always going to fall off the spindle and be loose and get all scratched up.
Yeah.
Before you even take the shrink wrap off.
So are you looking to get some Warner Brothers? Is that what you're trying to get some Warner Brothers stuff?
Well, Night Tiger Comics, he was on last week. He sent me, I guess, a present. I don't know if it was a birthday present because he'd been planning to send it to me for a while. But he sent me a comic that is a comic that my mother had read. She was always drawing Tilly the Toiler. But he also sent me a comic of Colt 45, which was a TV series, a Warner TV series that you can't see in any way. And then also 77 Sunset Strip. I don't know how to ever see that. I figured maybe.
So
I
to
don't know
answer
if
your
they're-
question, Gratu, as far as the Warner Brothers collection, it's called the Archive Collection, which
That's
you're talking
it.
about. And you can go actually on their website. I've done that.
Yeah.
I've gone on their website. You can see what is available. And you're right, they do. They burn it as you order, basically. The collection isn't as big as I was hoping it would be, but they do have a lot of stuff that you normally you're not going to see in the store ever.
Yeah.
But that's the way to do it, is to just go on their website and look at the Warner Brothers Archive collection, because they are releasing a lot of cool stuff. And that way, you know, because there's not a big audience for it, so that's why they're not doing a mass production of it.
Right.
Yeah, be real careful with Warner Brothers too. Lately, they've been having problems. They were doing business with a CD or a DVD manufacturer out of Pennsylvania somewhere, and they were a whole bunch of collections went out defective.
Those
And,
were just from the early days, though, like from like 20
I'm
years.
not sure about that. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I think they don't use them anymore, so I wouldn't worry about it. But anything like a bunch of Tom and Jerry shorts got screwed up, a bunch of Super Friends got screwed up.
And also the Christopher Reeve movie. I've heard about all that. That was all over YouTube about a couple months ago.
Mine, I had some problems with the golden collection of the Looney Tunes, and so I exchanged it out, and they changed it out, so I was happy about that. But
yeah, but it's such a hassle, and just
it is. What happens when they start using people that are cutting corners, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
I'll be back. I'm going to let my dog out.
Okay, cool.
I'm getting a bunch of vinyl tomorrow too.
You what?
I'm getting a bunch of vinyl records.
For your collection or to sell in your store?
No, from my distributor, not from. I'm still waiting for that lady too. You know, she was supposed to bring me all those records.
Oh yeah, that. Well,
it was top
she
40
came in on Friday. Maybe she's only available on Fridays, and she'll bring them in. That was the thing. You got those comics in, and I was like, we were at this restaurant, and I was like, I was telling my wife, I've got to look at these comics that Kevin got in. I need to do a stream when we leave the restaurant. And then I'm like, I was like, oh man, it looks like great stuff. And I'm going to go on with Meyer, and we're both going to look at these comics. And then my phone, the alarm on my phone goes off. And then the alarms, mine was the first to go off in the restaurant. And then everyone's alarm on their phone went off. And the rain started to get real hard outside. This restaurant used to be an old timey drugstore, and it's in a building that's over 100 years old on an old town square, and you've got a big picture window, and then over on the side is where the comic books and magazines were. Right, you know, I know exactly because I've asked the people that been there a long time. And here's where the ice cream, you know, or the soda fountain counter was, right about where we were sitting in the booth, you know. So I know all about the history of the place, even though I wasn't living there. So, you know, you can start to hear how strong it is outside, and what we didn't know is that there's clouds with 5 tornadoes coming down out of the same swirling cloud, about a couple minutes, maybe a minute's drive away from us. But you know, and the waitress says, "Oh, don't worry, the sheriff's in the back room, and he doesn't seem worried." And, of course, all his cars were apparently all destroyed, just like mine. Anybody that was parked around in that area of town just got hammered. So finally, they said, "Okay, everyone, come to the back of the restaurant. We will go in this room where they have a pool table and all these deer heads up around." And everyone in the restaurant was in there, and we could just hear this rumbling coming towards us, and I thought it was like houses and buildings being destroyed, and we thought we were goners, but it was, we were remarkably calm at the time. I don't think Cleo was scared, but I don't think she was as scared. I mean, she got more scared a couple of nights later, and she really realized when she saw the devastation that really did happen to a lot of people's houses. The neighboring town was just completely wiped out, basically.
Oh, jeez.
So it was bad. And we got baseball-sized hail. And then after that, everyone went out and looked at their cars, and then they closed the restaurant down and that for that night. And the waitress said, I guess I was wrong. But while we were in that back room, this other waitress that we've, I think she's still in high school or is right out of high school. She came up and talked to us about God, and it was almost, she's always had a very angelic spirit about her. I mean, she's just the people here are so cool. People that grew up on farms, or because like the maitre d', you could tell she was a little worried, but my wife says, well, what do we do? And she just says, we just ride it out. It's like what someone would say in a John Wayne Western. But it's a tornado siren. But anyway, so we went from Texas and Tornado Alley, and I was hoping to find a place that had no natural disasters, but apparently I didn't do a good job of that. At least we're not in a floodplain. We don't have earthquakes. But apparently there's still tornadoes up here. But I'm not entirely sure that we're not under, to get back to what the Centaur was saying last week. I don't know how much of this is natural weather and how much of this is just the warfare, like what they did to Hawaii.
Speaking of the Centaur, I think that's him calling.
Who's calling?
I think the Centaur is calling me.
Possibly. What is going on here? I'm back in the chat. Gratu, you're coming in great now. Maybe rebooting the router and modem would help. Yeah, but I'm not on the same computer. Before I was on this phone when I couldn't get into my own show. Now I'm on a laptop, and so that's, I think, the difference. I don't know what exactly it was, but
a lot going on, but there's always room for it.
I'm sorry if I've been an asshole tonight, but I just tell you how I feel. I may feel differently later. I may just be too sensitive, but I just kind of
I can touch it with my
look like shit.
better.
Yeah, I wouldn't let it get to you, Grotto. I really wouldn't.
Well,
Grotto. How do you pronounce your name? Grotto?
well, it's not really my name, but it's Gratu.
Oh, okay.
You really have to ask Stan Lee how he came up with the name. It's one of those monsters from Strange Tales from the 50s. It was a giant killer ant.
Oh, yeah.
Same as Groot, the giant tree that was a monster in one of those old comics decades and decades before he became a guardian of the galaxy. But they had all these monsters like Goo and Gratu, and
Here's my big monster.
And Jack Kirby would draw a lot of them, or Steve Ditko, and I've been using the name since the days of MySpace. And then Orloff is actually a family name on my dad's side. If you went back several generations, there was a relative named Bertha Orloff, but it's also all over horror movies, and it sounds like Karloff too, so it's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
So Orloff, I could legitimately lay claim to, but Gratu is actually a Stan Lee thing. I gotta look at this. Is a Stan Lee thing. So technically, if I was to become a celebrity, which would never happen, or actually make it big on YouTube, Gratu, would you show that again, Meyer? Is a name that I guess Disney owns. If they ever wanted to make a movie. So in that case, I would just become Dr. Orloff, or General or Colonel Orloff. Okay, is this the same scale as the gorilla?
Yeah, well, this is 1/32 scale. The same. This is much smaller than the gorilla, probably, but different scale. Maybe just about the same height. But this is the same scale as like a little green army man.
I think it would look good on a wedding cake, the two of them.
Well, these have an interesting backstory. So there's a what happened?
There
we go.
There you go.
Did you breathe on
So there's an interesting backstory to these. These were made over a long period of time and eventually became a set of 6. These the story behind these. Now, I don't know if this is 100% true. This is just what I always heard. These weren't sold to the public. These were produced by the Marx toy company. They have the distinct Marx mark on the bottom. These were sales tools used by the Marx Toys sales staff when sales reps would go to toy stores to represent Marx Toys, and they would entertain the owner of the toy company or the toy store. They would often bring these as like a token, like a kind of like underground thing. It's an adult thing that a toy company was making that was only being traded and as a friendly gift between the toy company and the owners of the toy stores.
Yeah, I've heard that same story somewhere. I don't know where I heard it, but
yeah. So they're just promos. They were just promos that were used, sales promos. So like they would get these from the main shop. They probably produced one every year, and it became a running gag. So that when the salesman shows up, this is a great one that you'd probably really like, Fives, if I could get it shown off correctly, because it's a hula girl dancing beautifully.
It's very cool.
How much do these sell for now?
Well, these are just repros, because what people did was they got the original molds, and then they also made new molds from the original figures. So you can buy a set of these probably for 20 or 30 bucks.
Oh, okay.
The originals, though, are probably very, very expensive. The originals, and very, very rare.
That's the good old, I don't know if you call them good old boys, but the guys back then, could do, because they were all World War II vets, and they are always kind of brothers from that. So that's why, like, the press didn't go after John F. Kennedy that much, because they were all war veterans. They all had that brotherhood, I think, a little bit.
So the other story that I heard that goes along with those figures is that after they gained some underground notoriety and popularity, then Marx started selling these figures in cigar shops, right? In like an adult only atmosphere. And then in addition, they produced other figures that could also be sold in cigar shops to adults, like Jackie Gleason.
Yeah. In his bus driver uniform.
In the bus driver uniform, and then there's another one too. Hold on. This one is the one where he's doing, what is this called? The 23 Skidoo?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Why didn't they hold that for real? They didn't have the rights to it or something?
No, it says Jackie Gleason right there. It's got his name on it. It's on the bottom it says like MGM Productions. So Marx was the biggest toy company in the whole country. They had licensing with Disney and Paramount. They made all kinds of figures. They were making the presidents of the United States.
Yeah. That is so cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
They made this cool. The reason why I got this container out. This is the chock full of nuts miscellaneous container. And so there's just a mixture of stuff, but I knew inside of here were these Mexican fish that Marx put out in the 70s. And that creature set reminded me of these fish. So in the 1970s, well, actually like in the 60s, Marx made this fish line, like a series of like 10 or 12 fish. And then as what happened with a lot of Marx molds in the 70s was that somehow they ended up in Mexico, and they started making these reproductions out of the actual Marx molds out of like all different crazy colors that were only being used in Mexico at the time. They did it with the monsters too.
Marx sold their monsters to Mexico, and then they started producing them in different colors. Yep.
There you go. Same thing happened with these fish. So these fish are from that same time period, Kevin. And I thought you might be interested because of that kit.
I stepped away because somebody had called. It wasn't the centaur, though.
Oh. Oh, okay.
It was
They're really cool.
the yo-yo
Oh, that's
guy.
cool.
The yo-yo guy will be here on Saturday. If you guys want to
They're
see
in
some amazing
really cool, bright
yo-yo
colors.
feats.
I thought the Centaur might show up tonight.
Yeah, me too. Oh, that sounds cool. There's going to be a yo-yo like professional there on Saturday.
Yeah, him and his class that he teaches, they're professional yo-yo guys. They're amazing.
Oh shit,
Wow.
that sounds cool.
Neat.
Here's this really cool old Hulk Hogan figure that Kevin might know about.
Is that an eraser or a figure?
It's a figure.
I've never
Oh,
seen
wow.
that.
It's a solid figure. He's real shiny. He stands really well.
Yeah, because it's not the bendy and it's not the eraser from the cartoon.
Yeah.
So
no.
I've never seen that. That might be super rare.
Yeah, I don't know what's on. I'm not sure. It's a really nice figure. I can't get
Hold
anything
on.
right here tonight.
Hold it. I'm going to screen capture it right now. Crap, I can't screen capture. Oh, there it goes. I got it.
I'd say it's 3 inches tall.
Wow, yeah.
Pretty cool.
I've never seen that. I thought I saw every wrestling figure around that time period.
Yeah, it's not bendy, but it's
Yeah,
not.
if I had to guess,
Yeah,
it would be LJN.
yeah. I don't know. I don't see any markings on it either. Oh, there's something on the foot. Hang on, I might be able to look. Let me look real quick.
So Gratu,
Yeah.
your name. Have you ever seen the movie The Awful Dr. Orloff?
I believe so.
Yeah, 1962, black and
Yeah.
white. Jess
Yeah,
Franco. Yeah, and then they made another one called The Invisible Dr. Orloff.
Right.
Hey,
I
Kevin. Kevin,
Uh-huh.
it's 1980 Titan Sports.
Yeah, so
Wow.
that's a subdivision of LJN. So that's before they started making the big rubber guys.
Oh wow. I thought I only had a set of 6. Apparently there's 7. Maybe there's 8. This is a
Hey,
really
I
nice one too.
Wait, go back to maybe Hogan is from a. Is that from a game, a board game?
Let me look. Hold on.
Because you got me thinking now. Because 80, that's a super early Hogan right there.
Yeah, it says 1980 Titan Sports. It doesn't have a stand on it. The writing is right on the bottom of his feet.
Looking it up.
I love classic wrestling, especially the 80s. 80s and 90s. That was when it was fun.
Yeah, when they had actual characters, it was always fun. Yeah.
Yeah, now it's just, way too much skitting around. And it just doesn't, it's not the same.
I'm experimenting here.
Oh, okay. Checking the
The zebra. What the hell?
I don't know
So
if it was a couple of years. It was while I was at this house. I was doing some readings of comics, and I think I was doing it from this website. And I'm trying to remember how I manipulated it. I guess I did it like this, but I'd give it the complete screen, and then I'd read the dialogue. And I was wanting to do that Sunday afternoon. Let me see how this works here. Oh, okay.
Meyer, is this it?
No.
I
That's
didn't
not
think
it.
so. Yeah, I didn't think so. I can't find that one.
Yeah, no, he's like in a full-on, like, what do you call it, like a Ronnie Coleman pose.
Yeah. He's more flexing, right?
Yeah, he's totally flexing. He's got his fists are touching in the middle.
I don't remember how to go to the next page. That's a pain in the
So
butt.
this would work. This would work for me if I had my TV on. I would be in front of my TV, and you would see my avatar, and I would be reading. If you wanted to have somebody help and read along with you, I could
Yeah.
be a character. I'd be up for it if you wanted.
Yeah, if I can remember how I did it. I'm trying to remember how to get to the next page. Do you just click on it? No.
I'll try and take some better pictures of these figures for you guys. These whatever they call them. There's really no name for these for these little purple girls. So, but I'll try and take some better pictures and put them on Instagram so you guys can see that. Especially that
Oh,
hula girl is really
those
nice.
figures
sculpt.
that are the figures
Very
that
nice
are
sculpt.
one color.
Yeah.
What do they call the figures that are one color? Monochromatic figures.
Yes. Yes. Yep. These are kind of cool. Let me show you one more thing real quick. These are also Marx from the 50s. So, like I said, they had all kinds of licensing. In the 50s, they made this Superman figure that I think might have been a serial premium or something. But I got him in red, white, and blue. Isn't that cool?
Oh yeah.
Very nice.
Oh yeah.
But it's like the blue one is kind of the best one. It is clearly the 1950s, like a combination of maybe the newspaper strip, and they're also promoting the TV show, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that was his pose in the opening credits. Is that a real one or a reproduction?
They're reproductions. These are all reproductions. It's the same situation where collectors got a hold of the molds and recast because the originals are very rare and expensive.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, that
I
is really
finally found that figure.
Oh, did you? What does it say?
It's a. I only found one. It took me a long time. It's a cake
Wow.
topper toy.
Ah, a cake topper.
Oh, cool.
That's
It's
cool.
1990, it's 1990 Applause Titan Sports. It's PVC cake topper.
Okay, so it was 1990 and not 1980. That's my bad.
So if
What's
you're
it
having
sell for?
if you're having a birthday party in 1990, you would put that on your cake.
Yeah, you could have found that in the cake aisle at the grocery store, which used to be my second go-to after the toy aisle, because sometimes there were some cool figures in the cake topper thing that were like, especially those little goofy looking cowboys and Indians. Remember those? You could actually play with them, even though they were cake toppers and you weren't supposed to. You could play with them.
Yeah.
That's
What's
right.
it sell for, Kevin?
That was 10. You can get them for that one for 10.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I've never seen it, so
Well, that's cool that it's only $10. It's a neat figure.
Yeah, I don't know anything about wrestling collectibles, but
that would put it at like one of his earliest figures.
Would it
what are
really?
the earliest wrestling figures? Did they ever make any of wrestlers in the 50s or 60s, or is
Oh,
that
wait, no. Oh no, you said it was 1990, so no, it wouldn't be as early.
Yeah, it's 1990, not 1980. I was wrong.
It was 80 would be his one of his first. Because his LJN didn't come out until 85, and I think in 82 he had a Japanese figure. He was touring Japan a lot before he was popular here.
Well, so what time do you think everything's going to start on Free Comic Book Day? Are you going to open early or anything?
I have to set up at 10.
10, okay.
The yo-yo guys will be the latest. They're coming at 11.
Okay. And what are the bands that are going to play at your show?
There's five bands. They listed them today. I saw in this magazine. This magazine, they posted an article. They know more about what's going on here than I know.
You didn't book the bands yourself?
There's one guy. He's like, I just book him, and then he books the other 4.
Oh, okay. All right.
Check
Oh,
it
look
out.
at-
Oh, I lost it. I made this
That-
little Nazi flamethrower guy.
Thought it was
So
a GI
this
Joe.
is this is a little Britain's limited figure from the 70s, and then I used some wire and some cotton to make it look like he's flamethrowing.
That's great.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
I remember these.
It was weird reading an article today, and they know more than I know.
What kind of music is it?
It's like I don't even know what to call it. I don't
have
even
that
know.
too.
I don't even know what the genres are today.
Oh, okay.
What is it? Rock and roll? What are the genres today?
All right, take me off.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, are these are local bands that are known, or
They're like bands that play at bars.
okay?
Okay.
And
Is that a genre? Bar band or something?
yeah, they might do a lot of covers, maybe. I don't know.
Probably a lot of rock and roll, more than likely.
No, they don't do covers. You know, they're not allowed to do covers. You know that?
Why?
I don't know. I had like some music person tell me that my bands couldn't do covers one time.
Okay.
I never heard that.
Okay. But
Who's gonna
Yeah,
stop you?
Well, my old store, I used to open the door and like put my speaker outside and play music. I used to have turntables, and I used to play music, and they said you can't do that.
well, I guess they figure you're not paying royalties on the music, but
Right.
And then
Yeah.
then one time I had bands, and they said they can't play covers, and I said no, they played their own stuff.
yeah, that's pushing it too far, I think.
Yeah.
That's what I'm dealing with. That's the kind of stuff I deal with my downtown here. My downtown is really bad right here.
It sounds like it's Democrat run to me.
Well, they sent me they've ran every mom and pop out, and since I live in the neighborhood, I get this email, and they sent me a survey asking me what chain restaurants and chain stores I'd like to see in downtown.
Yeah.
So they're trying to turn it from a mom and pop area to a chain store area.
I see.
Yeah.
So I wrote some bad things to them on their survey.
Well,
Some cool artwork.
and then Smokin' Joe is going to be drawing. Where will he be in relation to the bands?
So the bands will be up against my back wall. And then off to the left under the carport will be all the artists and everybody that doesn't have a awning, like or one of those tents, that they bring.
Uh,
For anybody that doesn't bring their own tent, they can be under the awning. Because the sun rises on that side, so it'll be blasting the sun.
so the band's backs are to the back of your store, so they're
Yeah, so they're playing towards the east, and that's where the sun's set coming up.
all right.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you're putting this on, Kevin? This event? Oh,
I do this. This will be my 13th year.
Wow.
Some guy used to say that I was the Wayne Stock of Mesa.
Wayne Stock. Nice reference.
Well, I've got a stream set up for Saturday morning. I don't know if my wife is going to work that day, but if she does, that's her birthday. So I'll need to get off as soon as she gets off. Or if she doesn't work that day, I'll probably stop around earlier than I normally would have when she wakes up, you know.
If I find somebody that I can trust to take my phone outside,
Yeah.
I can try to do that too.
That would be good. I
just can't trust just anybody with my phone.
You've got a couple of helpers, or at least one that sometimes are in your store.
The shop steward, he's gonna be doing his own thing out there because his wife's an artist. So he has to sell her stuff.
What is you've told us about this book before, haven't you, Meyer?
Yeah, it's called the Coloring Book. This is the second volume, and I got this from this artist over here named Skinner.
Oh yeah, he's old. That Skinner guy, that horror book by him. Yeah.
Yeah, I met him a couple times and kind of hung out with him a couple times and went to his house, and he gave me a couple pieces for free and made friends with my kids. And for a while, he was the resident artist at the city of Oakland, and he was completely like funded by the government. And he had a really cool paint shop and was doing all this really cool painting with airbrush. Anyway, I saw him at the park one day, and he had these, and he just gave me one. And it was this compilation that he submitted stuff to. He was like, his stuff is the first stuff that we looked at. This is Skinner right here. And so this is just a compilation of a bunch of indie underground San Francisco zine artists that put together this coloring book in about 15 years ago, probably.
Yeah.
That's when they had a lot of good artists over there.
Oh, dude, I bought so much good stuff from the people in the park. I used to find stuff every week.
You know, this just made me think about Ed Piscor. I was thinking, are there still new videos coming out? And I just looked at their page, and they have one from 14 hours ago.
Yeah, it was a good one.
How many videos?
It's been a month since he died, and I haven't been able to watch his videos because I'm still kind of shaken up from it.
I watch them. I've been watching them. I don't always make it all the way through, but I watch them. I've been watching them.
Can you imagine if he's still around and it was just, I mean, I know it's probably not true, but can you imagine that he was, because it was on April 1st. So can you imagine if this was staged? Yeah.
It
would be epic.
I would have given a lot of money to see that.
It would be an all-time
troll,
that's for
something
sure.
People would make movies about. He'd become a folk hero. I don't know.
Look at how San Francisco this is. Adopt. Give the gift of belonging. Visit a local shelter today. Message brought to you by Pookie Booze. Homemade treats for our furry friends. Pure San Francisco. This is like totally like at this point, I don't even see this stuff. To me, this looks like the signs that you guys walk by where you live that you don't notice anymore. I see you become completely acclimated to all things San Francisco after about 3 or 4 years. You get used to it all. This just looks normal to you. These look like the people that you see on the streets.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh.
I saw her yesterday.
It's kind of cool. There's just so much cool stuff with these, or there used to be. Before all these people that were drawing this, then I found out they were all Marxists and communists. But at first, I thought their art was really cool. Oh, this is neat right here. This is like right up our alley. Look, it's an old ad.
Yeah.
I just pulled out my Skinner magazine that I have.
Oh, that's neat.
Nah.
That's pretty cool.
It is cool.
I kind of like that too.
Some of this stuff is, I'm telling you, you're seeing why I was stopping and talking to these guys and buying this stuff. Some of it's very cool. Look at
Hey,
this.
Meyer, I just realized the magazine that I have, he signed it at the bottom. I didn't even know he signed it.
Oh, that's so awesome. That's him. Very small press kind of guy. Even though he made some big money off of this band, I think called Mammoth. He did these covers for this heavy metal band.
You know what's cool? He worked with Rock Bottom Novelties to make masks and some hands too.
How far is Albuquerque from you, Kevin?
Albuquerque, New Mexico is not too far.
I'm tracking the package that you sent. It says it departed the USPS facility in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
That's not what you want to see. By all the Bugs Bunny episodes I've watched, Albuquerque, you never want to see that.
Well, that's the place where Breaking Bad takes place.
Oh, really?
That's where Bugs Bunny always makes a wrong turn in Albuquerque.
Right.
Oh, every time.
So it departed there at 4:36 p.m. today. So I don't know. It'll probably wind up in Kansas City next or something.
That's really cool. Look at this.
Yeah, that is neat.
Yeah, Albuquerque, you never want to see that.
Look at that.
Kevin, did you sell out of the Savage Swords? Could you show us what that book looks like if you want?
And the inside?
Yeah. Unless you would
That's
rather.
cool.
You don't have to.
Yeah. No, I can show you. I got a couple magazines right here.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some real cool artwork in there, Meyer.
Yeah, there's. I don't know if you'd give this to little kids to color, but some of them you could. Some of the pages you could make photocopies of.
That'd be a lot of detailed coloring.
Yeah.
A lot of Adderall.
Or a rainy weekend when you can't go outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this real simplistic stuff. Whenever I would find stuff like this, I would always buy it. If there's something about, I like this, like grade school style kind of. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That's really good grade school.
It is. It's very good.
What did
But
this
it's
book sell for when you bought it from the artist?
Well, he gave it to me for free, but it's probably was $10 or something. I don't know. There's no price on it.
They
Like
probably
that artist that drew that in 15 years, he could be a pro now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
there's
probably
no.
had,
You're right.
Kinko's that printed them for him.
If that guy kept drawing for 15 years that good, yeah, he's a pro now.
Yeah.
Here's a Skinner. Here's that other Skinner cover. Maybe you have this.
Oh, I don't have that. My son probably has it though. My son is a huge Skinner fan.
I just noticed he signed it. I never noticed that before.
That's really neat.
This whole book is all Skinner. It's not just one story. It's the whole book.
Oh, wow. How old is this?
This is new. This came out maybe a few years ago. Looks like he had a professional colorist.
Yeah.
And then at the back, I think this is how I found out about him. He was doing stuff for Rock Bottom Novelties, and they were selling. I bought this mask.
Oh
right
wow,
here.
That's a great mask.
I have this mask, and I don't have this one. And I know they made his hand because his mascot was this hand. I'll show you this hand right here. This mascot has he did commercials almost like Channel Planet did. This stuff reminded me like Channel Planet is commercials with this guy.
Yeah. This artist is great. I've never heard of him.
And then the mask.
He's from Sacramento originally, and then he moved here because of gaining local popularity, and like I said, getting a grant and getting made like artist in residence.
Yeah.
There's that mask that we just saw in the magazine.
Boy, that's a nice mask.
Yeah, man. I wish that guy was the president.
Yeah, this rock bottom novelties.
Gratu, if you show me real quick, I just want to show you. I have a painting that Skinner painted that he gave me when I went to a party at his house. This is a Bigfoot that he painted. It's just painted on a piece of wood. I think a lot of this is just, so here's what he does. He sprays color, right? And then he takes a paint pen, just a black paint pen, and he does all this line work with the black paint pen.
Yeah.
So the color's already there, and then he just does the line over it.
Yes.
That's cool. That's why it has the big green splotch right there. Yeah.
Yep. That's it. You can go back to Kevin.
Neat.
I just wanted to show his signature's right here. If you look right there.
Oh yeah. See it.
Did he change his signature up, or is it the same?
The same one. It just says Skinner right there. See it?
The same as this?
I think so. It looks pretty close. Let me see yours. I've got another piece of his too. I don't know if it's signed either, but it's also hand painted on wood, just like that. Same day. He gave one to me and one to my son. Yeah, that's it.
Oh.
Here's Savage Sword #2. Look at this
So
cool.
it has the title on it. Did you pull one for me that didn't have the title, or that did?
Yeah, but I can switch if you want this one instead.
I think I'd rather have the title because it looks more like a real magazine.
I thought you would say that.
I don't know. It's just like, it looks weird to have a painting with no title on the front cover. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, I can switch this one with yours. I haven't even opened this yet to see if the art. So what I think it is different stories in each one. Like you get 3 or 4 mini stories.
Uh-huh.
Here's a detailed map. I can't even see it.
Wow. That looks cool.
Yeah, that is neat.
Pretty good. It looks nice.
You need glasses to look at this, yeah.
I need glasses to look at anything.
When I used to be a dungeon master and I played Dungeons and Dragons in 8th and 9th and 10th grade, I used to always steal from all of this because my friends didn't read comics. So they didn't know anything about the Hyborian map or the Hyborian age or about Conan. So I brought all this into Dungeons and Dragons and just stole from Roy Thomas and Robert E. Howard. The whole time.
And everybody thinks you're the smartest person.
Yeah, they're like, how did you come up with that? And I'm like, it was in an issue of The Warlord by Mike Grell.
So there's 3 stories and then pinups.
Yeah, we tried to play Dungeons and Dragons, and we were always too stoned or drunk or something, and we ended up never doing
We
it.
did total all-nighters. We used to do
I spent
weekend runs.
hundreds of dollars on those books. God,
That looks
remember the
cool.
old TSR books?
Yeah, I
only
still have
one
some
of
of
them. I
them.
just found it a minute ago while I was trying to get back on the stream. Let me go get it real quick. I'm going to feed the
Pretty
dog.
sure
too.
Fibes still has his whole set of TSR books, I think. Don't you, Fibes?
I do. Yeah, I started playing when I was it was 1977. And it was a friend of mine who went to a special school for smart kids. And it was his teacher that turned him on to it. And it was before it got popular. And they came out with these tiny little paperback books. And that's how...
Sure.
Yeah,
I had one called Sticks and Stones. I had one that was called Melee, right? And it was Sticks and Stones or something. I had that.
So we started playing back then, and I played it. I loved the game when it first came out, and I don't care for the newer versions because the whole company got very woke.
Hey, I haven't played it in years, decades.
Yeah, it's but the old school is still really cool. In fact, I get together with friends and we still play the old edition, the very first edition.
I think that's great. That's if I lived close to you, I would be up for that for sure. If I had an invite, I would be down.
Yeah, you would totally enjoy it because we have all the old school stuff, and like I say, all these guys they're totally into the old school, and that's how we play it. Because the new stuff is just ridiculous, totally stupid.
Yeah, that looks like that's pretty good. That
It looks fine. It looks really good.
We're still on the
I like
first
it.
story, I think.
I like the art a lot.
This first story is really long.
Have you read any of it yet, or not?
No, this is the first time flipping through the second issue.
All right.
I
As
flipped
long
through
as
the
the
first
story's
issue.
good.
I'll show you the only Dungeons and Dragons thing I've got here. I think it's probably an original.
Those little lead figures, I used to have some of those. Remember
I
the
used
little...
to have a lot of
We
Ral
played-
Partha. Ral Partha was my favorite brand. You remember Ral Partha, Martin?
No, I don't.
Oh,
I
it was
had,
the
I had
it
some
was,
that came in these little boxes.
it
like
was
a
the
little-
best lead, little miniature figure brand, in my opinion. It was called Ral Partha. Real high quality. I don't have any of them anymore.
I never had the figures.
The
In
figures?
fact, several of my friends did. They had the little lead figures.
Yeah, we played with the little lead figures. I had a couple friends that were really into it, and I got into it too. A lot of painting, the whole thing. Before they were plastic, back when they were all made of metal.
Yeah. Yep, I remember them.
You remember this game called?
There used to be a store. Remember, Meyer? Have you ever been down to Cambria?
Yeah, sure. I know the store you're talking about. That
Remember
Cambria,
that store?
Sure.
Yeah, they had that. They had all those figures in there. That was cool.
Yeah,
I remember.
I actually still have a couple of all the. I don't have any of those D&D figures, but I have a couple figures that I got as souvenirs from that shop. That it specialized in metal lead soldiers, like military figures.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they have,
I think
like,
they did
Zulu
have some medieval stuff
full-scale,
too.
like,
but
Zulu battle going on there, and all kinds. And they did. I bought a Gandalf from there, and I also bought a Bilbo from there, and I still have the Gandalf somewhere. But
oh wow.
I remember that shop is probably still there. I don't know, but I remember that shop, and there used to be a really cool English sports car shop right next to there, where they had like all this.
Yeah, that's
incredible,
right.
Like 1950s Porsches and stuff like that, and MGs and all
Yeah,
kinds
that
of
was
European
That was a
sports.
neat little town. Neat little
I just
town.
spent a lot of time in Morro Bay, so I know the area pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah, my grandfather had a house in Cambria. Actually, it wasn't in town, but it was like closer to the ocean. But
It's a beautiful spot. That's like a hidden gem of the coast. Just far enough north from LA and Santa Barbara, and then far enough south from the central coast where you get some heat and some warmth in the summer.
yeah, and it was kind of like mountains and coast at the same time. It was.
Yeah, it is. It's the mountains and it's the country meets the coast, and it's maybe it's still country. It was always real country there.
Yeah.
Cambria has a really cool old cemetery. Very cool cemetery in Cambria.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I haven't been there in years. He sold the house and then ended up buying a house up in Bass Lake. But
I like Bass Lake too. Bass Lake is nice as well.
yeah. I worked on the film up there, with John Candy. Great
What's the name of that
Outdoors.
place? Is it called Ducey's? Is it called Ducey's?
Yeah, it's in the Pines. It's the name of the community.
That's
up
it.
there.
Pines
Are
Lake
you
in
guys
the
talking
Pines.
about the Great Outdoors?
The Great Outdoors.
Yeah.
Oh, that restaurant that John Candy goes into and he eats that big steak.
Yeah.
What was it called? The old 69er?
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
The 69-ounce steak that he has to eat, and he has to eat all the fat and gristle.
Oh God, yeah. That made me sick watching that.
I
And
love
Dan
John Candy.
Aykroyd's like the used car salesman, and he's like, He'll eat all the fat.
Yeah,
just
that's
throw it
the
in
old
t-shirt.
Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Monster Manual. That's
That's
the
beautiful.
old Gary Gygax stuff.
Yeah,
All my friends were into this, and
I have
this is
that
the
book.
one that intrigued me because I just like looking at all the monsters. I guess this is an original one.
That's
I
the
like it.
original Monster Manual. Then they did a Monster Manual 2, and then they also did Fiend Folio, and then Deities and Demigods.
Yep.
I mean, some of the pictures are better than others. Some, look like they're done by high school students.
Hey, Gratu, what printing is that?
God, that was probably 80s.
No, like what printing? It must have went into multiple printings.
Yeah, but I think.
Yeah, that came out, I think, about 78, 79.
First printing's got to be worth at least hundreds of dollars.
It's
77, 78.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's worth money right there.
Yeah, they go for about $85 to $100.
Okay.
That one doesn't look like it's been handled that much either.
No, because I never played the game. I just bought it because I like monsters.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's an encyclopedia of monsters, so it fascinated me. The people that I knew that played this were just kind of obsessive about it, and it was just kind of. I'm not saying everyone that plays it was like this, but the people I knew, I just didn't really want to hang out with them for whole weekends. They were okay to talk with at lunch because they had some common interest, but it's like, here's the.
It was always fun to read the description and their powers and all of that. It was always fun. All my books got stolen. Somebody broke into my apartment. This was years ago, and they stole my Xbox and all of my books from Dungeons and Dragons. I had all the books. I had the Dungeon Master Manual, the Player's Manual.
This here was stolen.
The Werebore.
Yeah, it was on the front cover of a bootleg Cramps record. They took that illustration.
The Werebore?
Yeah. So, some of the drawings are better than others, but to me it's very amateurish, but I'm sure it's a fun game. But
Fiend Folio was very, very crappy drawings. It was nothing like that one. That one's really nice compared to Fiend Folio. Fiend Folio was kind of it was like the third book the second or third book they came out with monsters.
Yeah.
And the drawings were all really quick sketches, they just looked crappy.
Yeah. The artwork in a lot of them wasn't good, but now because it's so nostalgic, it's artwork that a lot of us that started playing it back in 1977, 78, we like it because, again, if you get the brand new Monster Manual, it's like looking at a Marvel comic. I mean, it's all professional. It's very, very polished. I like the very amateurish. It's more charming to me.
How did it spread across the country in the days before the internet? How did every junior high school kid or the nerdy ones find out about it all at the same time? Did it spread through colleges and then filter down?
Yeah, that's where it started, was in colleges. Okay. And then there was the controversy that also helped promote it because of the controversy of the student that supposedly went crazy while he was playing it. And there was a book written about it. In fact, there's a movie with Tom Hanks that is a hoot to watch called Monsters and Mazes. And
I remember there was a kid named Egbert, and he went down in these tunnels under his college and got lost. And
that was at Michigan State University here in Michigan is where that happened.
If your last name is Egbert, you pretty much have to play Dungeons and Dragons. It's your destiny.
Didn't the guy have like a character that lasted like years and years or something, and then he like killed himself or some crazy thing?
Well, what happened was, there's a lot of kind of wives' tales about the whole thing. I mean, it's been distorted in so many different ways. A lot
Yeah,
of people say
it's kind of turned into a kind of an urban legend. Yeah.
it totally is. But the truth to the matter was the game had absolutely nothing to do with his disappearance or him committing suicide. But the police, when they first went to the house, they were looking for him. And yes, and they were going down into the tunnels, and they were playing this game in the tunnels below Michigan State. But what happened was he actually had left his dorm and was staying in a different place with a friend. And then it was like a couple of years later that he ended up committing suicide. And
So it wasn't related.
so he
to that
had
at
mental
all.
issues. His parents knew that. But when the police first went into his apartment, they saw this game. And they started doing their investigating, and they thought, oh my God, this guy's into some kind of weird cult. Because as they looked at the game and they saw all this stuff about wizards and warlocks, and it was something they weren't familiar with at all. Then the reporters got a hold of that, and there was a woman in particular that ran with it. And she made this whole story about it basically being this cult game that he got into, and he committed suicide because of it, because it had a lot to do with devil worshiping. So that made it spread like wildfire. In fact, when I started playing it, my mom and my grandparents were very concerned. Like, wait a minute, what game are you playing? Well, we got to check this out because we've heard bad things about it. And of course, we're just like kids going, "What? What are you talking about? There's absolutely nothing that's weird about this." But and once they found out what kind of game it was, they were fine with us playing. But again, there was a really bad stigma, and that's why it took off.
That's still going around about it being this evil devil worship thing. You know, I mean, and there are demons in it.
Sure,
and that
like
probably doesn't help.
Well, just like there's, but any folklore. I mean, there's demons and evil versus good in any kind of folklore. Disney. Lord of the Rings, whatever. You have that.
This is another Skinner thing. When you pulled out that monster manual, I've been scrambling, like going through a drawer trying to find this because he made this patch. Yeah, based on the troll from the monster manual, and he also gave this to me. He made these patches, and this was another thing that I think probably the same day that I got the coloring book, he just gave me one of these as well.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
And I saved it because I was going to put it on a hat. I want to put it on a blank black hat and sew it on there.
Yeah, there he is, right there.
That's him. That's him right there.
Yeah.
A lot of his paintings are Dungeons and Dragons imagery. You saw what he draws.
Well,
I love that. I love that creature on Fiend Folio cover. You know, that skeleton monster with the sword.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, that was pretty neat looking.
So here's my original game.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And
what is that?
This was so when this came out, one of the things that's very collectible is having the original dice.
Yeah. See, I bought the same thing. It came with the dice and all.
Remember those crappy dice? Remember that four-sided that you never used?
Yeah.
Those are the dice it comes with?
Or the three-sided. It's like, what the hell?
So you get multicolor dice with it?
Yes, you did.
Yeah. Those are so cool.
There was no 20 die yet. No 20 die hadn't. Did it come with a 20 die? I didn't think it had 20 die yet.
Yeah, it has. But what you had to do was use tape or paint to.
Yes.
And that's what I did. I used red paint.
That's it.
So
what was the point of that? What was the point of doing that?
So it was a percentile die. So when you rolled it, you could tell whether or not you had. Yeah.
Yep.
And so I mean, I've still got all my old games, but yeah, these things are very collectible.
Yeah, and it came with maps and stuff.
Yes, you would get graph paper, and you would plot it out as you played.
And you'd roll for initiative. You'd roll for initiative, and then you'd make a mistake and pay for it.
God, what does that bring back memories? I wish I still had all of that. Yeah.
Gelatinous cube.
I remember that picture. Wow, that is so cool.
Yeah.
How nostalgic. I mean, that just brings back flowing memories of seeing that.
Well, one of the things that I really liked about the game was that it wasn't a game where you were just competing against each other by the roll of a dice, like a lot of board games. It was a game where you could use your imagination, where you worked as a group. So you, as well as your friends, would be going into this, let's say, dungeon or castle or cave. And
Right.
so then, yeah, you had to work things out and figure out what are we going to do next? You might have a friend who says, well, I think we should go into that room. And another friend might say, well, wait a minute. Before we go into that room, let's listen to the door. Maybe there's noise that we could hear or something. So, everybody's, and okay, so the guy puts his ear up to the door, and then, the dungeon master maybe would roll the dice, giving a certain percentile, and he'd say, you hear something. You hear something that sounds almost like a snoring sound, a deep snoring. Well, at that point now, okay, you ask again, there's, let's say, 3 of you guys playing. What are we going to do? Do we want to just kind of go on to the next further down because we don't want to mess with whatever's behind that door? Or do we want to open the door? And how do we want to open the door? Do we want to open it slowly? Maybe it's locked. Maybe you can't. Maybe you have to bang on it, kick it open. So all of that stuff comes into play, and it just makes it much more, interesting, and where you really do have to use your mind and your imagination. And you guys know, I mean, you guys played it, so.
Really
Well-
will expand your vocabulary too. You're
Yeah.
learning a lot of stuff.
One thing
You're
that discouraged
probably
me,
learning more from Dungeons and Dragons than school.
yeah, it seemed like you had to know math to do it too. That was a little discouraging. Man, those are great.
I would have never figured it out on my own had it not been for a friend who, was taught from a teacher, and then he brought it to us, and he said, this is, and when he first started kind of explaining it to us, I was just like, wait a minute, this is way too complicated. This sounds like it's going to take forever. I mean, we got to roll for, our strength and for our wisdom and all of this stuff, and there's a certain percentage and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
It just, but as we started playing it, it just became, like anything, it was easy, and we were just like, oh my God, this is amazing. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It really was. It was something completely new, and it was.
Yes.
It was
Did you
all
ever
taking
play-
place in.
Did you ever play Boot Hill or Top Secret or Gamma World? Or
Yes. Loved them.
Yeah,
Loved them.
I loved all of those games. We played them all.
Yes. This is off the subject. Kevin, looking at those masks, that character to the right kind of reminds me of that one. Reminds me of the character from the Fearless Vampire Killers, the Krulok, the guy
Yeah.
had the really
What a
bad
great
teeth.
movie. Yeah, he does look like him.
What is the
Big
date of
bulging
that?
eyes.
Yeah, he was Tony Downs was the character, the actual actor who played him. He was a British boxer.
I think this is a beatnik. He's a creep beat. He's a creep beat.
Yeah, he's creepy.
He's awesome looking. That's a great
He
man.
needs a
Yes,
dentist.
creep beat, because he's a beatnik and he's creep, so he's creep beat.
Oh,
Is that a
yeah.
vinyl mask as well? Is that vinyl too?
No, this one's latex.
What's that other one? A Cyclops?
This is a football player.
Oh no. Okay, never mind. I only
What's a
saw
foot-
one eye, and I'm thinking, how the hell are you supposed to see through that?
No, you look through up here.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool.
On the back of the helmet, what does it say?
It says Dawn Post 1980.
Oh, 1980. Okay. So and those are actually from 1980.
This is something new.
Okay.
This is a tribute to I seen this one. You could get this one in the back of comic books.
Really? That's great.
Do you remember the episode of The Outer Limits where the guy had the big bulging eyes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what those eyes look like. That's a great mask. So is that one.
They're all amazing. Well, Cleo's gonna get off in about a minute, or sometimes she goes a little
All
bit
right.
longer. But I'd like to talk to you guys for like a minute or two after the stream, but then I gotta run because I promised her I wouldn't go super late. But let me go ahead and
Sounds
close
good.
out. This has been well, it's been pretty great, at least in the second stream. But anyway, guys, I'll see you guys next Thursday. I'm gonna do several streams over the weekend. See how that goes. I won't be in a
everyone.
better mood. Trust me, I'll be in a better mood, hopefully. But oh, that mask is pretty great too. Anyway, guys,
Take
out
care.
there in television land, we'll see you guys soon.
Take care.